When two objects collide, vibrations ripple outwards as powerful waveforms. These waves travel through the air, surge into the ear, and through the auditory system, firing signals deep into the brain. Meaning sound isn't just heard. It's felt in every nerve, every beat, every breath.
Here's the first one of the Ashes.
This is the sound of history being made. Feel every moment of the Ashes with ABC Sport. Coming soon on ABC Radio and on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Sport.
It's been 22 years in the making.
The Kangaroos tour England.
What do Great Britain have to do to win a test? Ricketson scores his second try and writes history. For the first time since 1986, Australia win the test series 3-0.
In Rugby League's battle for the Ashes.
Underway in Ashes Test 1. Staggs gets it away to Reece Walsh, who flies over the line. The big swan dive. Numbers to the left of him, numbers to the right, but he doesn't need any of them. Angus Crichton goes himself and scores. And the siren will sound at Wembley Stadium. The Kangaroos in the first Ashes Test have defeated England 26 points to 6.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 Ashes series.
England versus Australia.
The second test live from Everton Stadium.
And a very good morning, and good to have your company for the second Ashes Test between Australia and England from Everton. The blue side of Liverpool in terms of football, but it is the white and red of England. A packed house at the brand new stadium down at Bramley-Moore Dock for the visit of the Kangaroos. And Australia looking to wrap up the Ashes series. They won 3-0 in 2003. They will be looking to follow suit in this series with the final test at Headingley in a week's time. But a huge match coming up this afternoon in terms of the England side. This afternoon, England time, of course. Good to have your company if you're listening in the UK via the ABC Listen app and right around Australia, of course, via ABC Sport Digital. My name is Glenn Lauder. Michael Carianis and John Gibbs will be alongside me for the call. MC to you in just a moment, but John Gibbs, good evening or good morning to you. Obviously, it was a pretty dominant performance by the Australians in Game 1. We'll get to more detailed team news as we go through, but obviously no Isaiah Yeo for the Australians, and it means Harry Grant will captain. Not much more change for Kevin Walters. He doesn't really need to because they were very impressive in Game 1. Do you see it continuing this afternoon, England time?
Yeah, good morning, Glenn. And MC, yes, I do. I can't see any conceivable way England can win the second test. And interestingly, I know that MC likes a morsel, but they haven't lost consecutive tests, England, since 2014. Well, we're about to witness history because they're going to go down, and I think Australia, the only thing that could beat them would be complacency, and I can't see that they would be complacent. The field, it's a little bit skinny in length, not width, luckily. It's the right width, but it looks a bit squat because it's only 95 metres with 5 metre in goal. So the kicking will have to be so precise. But, you know, just a little fact for you to consider. In that game last week, to play the balls were the slowest of slow. I think there was only one game in the NRL last year that was slower in terms of play the balls. We didn't see 6 again. So with the Australian referee, Grant Atkins, and a different interpretation of the rules, I think that's going to be worse for England. So their chance was in the first test, like it's often been. I just don't think they're about to do it tonight.
Well, they were the best part of 4 seconds, weren't they, if not longer, in that first test match. Michael Carianis, good morning to you. Kevin Walters has risked the urge to blood too many youngsters. He's stuck solid. Do you think that's the right plan, to put the foot on the throat and really wrap this series up in pretty comprehensive style?
Yeah, good morning, Glenn. Good morning, John. You got to win the series before you start thinking about blooding people. So no surprise there. Obviously, no Isaiah, so Pat Carrigan shifts from the prop to lock, which is a role that he does every week for Brisbane, and Lindsay Smith gets an opportunity. I thought maybe they might have given Jacob Preston a look, but no, they've gone for Lindsay Smith, obviously more of a traditional middle than Jacob Preston, who's made his name on an edge for the Bulldogs. But the interesting thing will be is if Australia do win this game, does Kevy try and give everyone a go next week rather than heading into game 2?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, when you look at Lindsay Smith, played in that Pacific Championship final last year, the Penrith forward. And Lindsay Collins, Gibbsy, just going back to obviously the fact that they have had to make that change. He's such an experienced international forward. He's played so much State of Origin as well over the years as well. So they lose absolutely nothing. And an interesting stat, if you love stats, John Gibbs.
Does he what?
He's already come up with 2 in the first...
That's an oxymoron.
4 minutes of the program. Lindsay Collins plays his 12th Test match, and he goes level with his grandfather, Lionel Williamson.
Yeah.
So, nice moment for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Granddad Lionel, too. And I know they still have contact, which is great. And
did you have that as part of your notes?
No.
Did I take that off you? No.
I'll just fit in. That's what I do. I fit in. Okay? So I think Lindsay Collins has been a great representative forward. His effort areas, just think of some of the effort areas he does at State of Origin when a try needs to be scored or a kick needs to be, charged down or he falls on a ball. He's an incredible player, Lindsay Collins. And what I admire about Lindsay Collins is he gets the most out of what he is. So he knows his job and he'll do it. I thought last week we saw a really good performance from Angus Crichton. So the problem... One small problem for the Kangaroos is that they've got all, left edge players. And so someone's going to play on the right. Now, Jacob Preston, and that's the thinking why a lot of people thought Jacob Preston is, because he came in on the right. He plays the right for the Bulldogs. But Jacob Preston, who's a Manly junior, all during his growing up, he was a left edge forward as well, because he only moved to the right because Viliami Kikau obviously prefers the left side. So you would think that's how things have changed in rugby league. Now, I reckon in 1990 Kangaroos or 1978, we weren't talking about left and right. Did
you just get, when you play, was it a thing?
No, it wasn't. But obviously when you think about it, you have a more logical side that you would like to play.
But centres would have still been left and right, wouldn't they?
No, inside and outside.
Okay.
So they would have defended. No.
Well, sometimes.
Well, they would have defended left or right.
No, well, not always, because you'd often mark up against inside and outside centre. So
they defend on the same side of the field.
Yes. Well, it depends where the people were. So when you got coaches that were innovative, they would start to do all of that sort of stuff. And, your Bob Fultons, Warren Ryans and all Phil Goulds, all of those sort of brought all of those things into vogue. But it's a little thing, and I don't think it's going to matter. But they all should be able to play on both sides.
I agree, yeah.
You see someone like Brian To'o.
Yeah.
He's been moved, and, certain sides suit him better. I'm sure that he goes better on the left side.
Yeah, growing up, obviously everyone played, obviously everyone played one side, generally one side of the field, right? But there was never this obsession with, he's a left-sided player or he's a right-sided player. You'd pick your best 13 for a rep side and then just fit them in.
Yeah.
Well, they're interchangeable now, Michael, too. Like halves, 6 and 7. They're left or right. It's like having two halves.
Yeah. And the other thing is when you're a professional athlete, you're ambidextrous as well, right? Like maybe there have been times where someone's better at, leading with their right shoulder to tackle and things
some
like
people
that.
might have a great left foot step or a right foot step or an arm carry.
Yeah.
That's always been the case, right? But yeah, we do have an obsession now with pigeonholing people from one side of the field or the other.
But you do have a preference. I mean, I can remember I used to like scoring tries in a particular place.
I liked you changed it from running to scoring tries.
Well, I'm just saying that's the ultimate goal when you're running somewhere. Yeah. If someone's chasing you want to get over the goal line.
Let's have a look. We'll hear from the Australian captain, Harry Grant, in just a few moments. But before we do that, let's quickly have a look at the England side. Sean Wayne has made a heap of changes. John Bateman's injured, but the rest are, probably, let's say, form. AJ Brimson's obviously the big one. Australian fans know him very well. He's played over 100 games for the Gold Coast Titans and finally off the bench. I didn't know whether he was going to get an opportunity. Morgan Smithies has come in. Callum Watkins will start for John Bateman. Morgan Smithies is on the bench. Seems to be a real reluctance from Sean Wayne to pick Australian-based players.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, and he's, Jack Wellsby, I mean, he's got a big rap on him. He was ordinary last week. John Bateman, injured, sick or whatever, his form in the NRL was ordinary, and yet he picked him. He's obviously a favourite of Sean Wayne, so I think it's a good thing that he's out. But AJ Brimson will give them some spark. That's what they didn't have last week. Herbie Farnworth gave them a little bit. Dom Young went all right. He took the ball back. But I do think he does have a reluctance to make changes, and he's probably a little bit of a stubborn sort of bloke, but he's had a very good record. But the sides that he's played, when you put it in context, I don't think have been that good. They've had wins against your Tongas and Samoas and France. They've beaten all of those sides. But AJ Brimson will go well. George Williams, a lot of people said he's had a disastrous year. How did he get picked? But he was one of their better players last week, so I can understand him sticking with his captain.
Yeah, obviously interesting to see AJ Brimson at fullback. Wellesby just wasn't up to it last week. We saw the fact that when Angus Crichton, stormed through a gap, Wellesby was nowhere to be seen despite Crichton looking for support and essentially allowed him to go to the try line. So Brimson will provide that spark that you're talking about, Jonty. Obviously, a change with Harry Smith gets an opportunity as well in the number 7 jersey. So they had to make change. Whether or not they're right, I don't know. They had to
Callum Watkins. Seriously.
Ahead of Morgan Smithies. Yeah. Well, that just goes back to the stubbornness to pick.
Well, he's made a transition from the backs into the forwards, and apparently he's been, regenerated.
He's 34 years old.
Rejuvenated, but I can't see Callum Watkins worrying anyone.
Alex Walmsley, what's he, 35 or something?
Yeah, 35. I thought he was decent coming off the bench last week. He added a bit of spark.
Badly once on the outside.
Yeah.
Might have been Munster got him on the outside, which is not uncommon, but look, it's hard for me to be overly critical on until reviewing the game, because I don't sit down and watch the Super League like I'll watch the NRL, right? But Morgan Smithies is a good player, and we know what he's been able to do, and we know John Bateman's been so poor this year. So how Bateman was even in the squad, let alone playing in the first test, I'm happy to be critical over that, right? Because I see enough of John Bateman, but. I thought Clyde Piss-Poor had a couple of okay moments last week. He's such a big body, right? If they can try and get him some clean ball, he might be able to cause some havoc.
Wormsley, I thought, got them on the front foot with the ball in hand. He took a couple of multi-carries in sets. And Mike McMeekin, I thought, looked okay coming off the bench. I thought those two off the bench were better than Havard and Lee starting. Anyway, let's get back to the Australians. We're not too far away from anthems. Quentin Hull caught up with the Kangaroo skipper Harry Grant on Summit Grandstand and started by asking him what his first impressions are of this brand new Everton stadium that they'll be playing in.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible stadium, and not too many games have been played here. And the stadium, it's all on top of you, so that's going to be pretty exciting tomorrow. Especially with the northern crowd, I think they get around their rugby league a fair bit, so it'll be a big one tomorrow.
How could you fathom the roller coaster that rugby league's taken you on this year, from injury to suspension to Origin victories to beaten grand finals, and now Kangaroos captain? Congratulations.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, definitely. In a privileged position, and not too many people get that opportunity, so definitely don't take it lightly. But in saying that, my role doesn't change too much within the team and with what's important for me and my game. But yeah, it's been a good season, a big season, a long season. It's probably why there's been so many different parts to it. But hopefully we can finish the season strong and have a good performance against the Poms.
I think there's plenty of rugby league fans that can understand it, but for those general sports fans who are listening, thinking, well, hold on, you're playing in the same team as Cam Munster and he captained Queensland. You get to captain Australia. How's Cam been through the week?
Yeah, he's been good. He's been his normal self, the Energizer Bunny, and I think we've got so many great players in this team. It's about trying to just bring everyone's strengths to the table and making sure everyone gets their own game and gets that in check, and then we can sort of bring it together as a collective.
We'll do the challenge against England in a moment, but just while I'm speaking about Cam Munster, I'm just wondering when you heard the news about Ryan Pappenhausen leaving the Storm. It's been a huge story, and I'm just wondering how you reacted when you heard about it.
Yeah, I heard a couple of days ago, and obviously big news and a bit of a shock there, but you got to sort of tip your hat to Paps and a bit of respect in his decision and what's next for him and in his journey. And I think we all know he'll be forever purple, forever a Storm player and person, and what he's done there and achieved at the club definitely won't be slept on or forgotten. And he'll have a legacy at the club for a long time. And he's only 27, so you don't really know what's around the corner or what the future holds for him. But we all wish him all the best because we know he's a good person, and you want to see good people go well.
Well, Harry, I hope you enjoy it. And just to finish with, we've looked at this Kangaroo Tour. It's an iconic thing in rugby league that hasn't happened for a while. Now that you've been able to settle in and have a week or so on tour, you've seen the biggest things in the game: grand finals, Origin. What's this experience like?
Yeah, it's right up there, mate. Obviously, like I said before, we're in a privileged position to be playing in Ashes. 3-match series against the Poms, and something we don't take lightly. And yeah, I think the international game has come a long way since COVID. It was probably on the back burner for a little bit there, but it's back in a big way. And I think collectively with with all the governing bodies and that, we're gonna work together to keep it growing and keep it going strong.
Yeah, Harry Grant chatting to Quentin Hull on ABC Summer Grandstand, and interesting just talking about that 3-test series with no warm-up games, no tour games in between. Just looking back at Australia's record at the old Everton Stadium, Goodison Park, they've played there 4 times in the past, twice in the 1908-1909 Kangaroo Tour, and Harry Grant is saying how good it is for an international tour in 2025 with 3 test matches, which it is. But in 1908-09, they played their first game on the 3rd of October, and they played game number 45 on the 8th of March. Now,
wish I was on that tour. I would have had more time to go sightseeing.
You did enough sightseeing in 1978, Jonty. They played on Christmas Day. They played Leeds on Christmas Day. We've certainly come a long way since then. But, it is great.
Pioneers. I mean, everyone, all sport now wants to play on Christmas Day.
Yeah, big passion.
Not a game against Leeds, though.
No.
I got married on Christmas Day. I might have had to put it off if I had to watch a rugby league game.
You got married on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
You can get anniversary presents and just wrap them up in Christmas.
You never forget you.
How does that happen? How do you get married on Christmas Day?
That's for another day.
You are listening to ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 Ashes series between Australia and England. 0467 920 222 is the text line if you would like to get involved as well. We are counting down to kick off. The anthems are not too far away, and Australia obviously, hopefully in terms of Kangaroos fans and for Kevin Walters and his team, will be looking at completing a series victory. They lead 1-0 after that big win, 26 points to 6 in the opening game at Wembley Stadium. This is the first ever rugby league match at the new Everton Stadium at Bramley Moor Dock. 0467 920 222 is that text line number. So, obviously, Nathan Cleary, Jonty, we spoke about after the first test match, still hasn't, iced representative football. He was good in the first game, but wasn't outstanding. His partner will be in the crowd tonight as well, Mary Fowler, who's got an ACL injury. She plays for Manchester City, just around the corner. But Nathan Cleary, against a team like England, who are probably already on the ropes, this is a really good opportunity for him to say, I'm the best halfback in Australia, but I'm the best halfback in the world as well.
Yeah, that's true. And MC and I had this discussion a little bit last week, and I think he did what he had to do last week. And I don't think when the play the balls are so slow, and when the teams aren't back a long way, it's very hard for any halfback now to dominate. But I think he did a pretty good job. Munster, I thought, in the second half was fantastic last week.
Yeah.
And he gave him plenty of ball, his combination. If I'm a halfback, right, I mean, he's not really a halfback who's making breaks all the time, and he's more, a schemer, and his kicking game is important and all of those things. Because if I'm a halfback and I've got someone like Reece Walsh out the back, I want to get in the ball as quickly as possible so he's got as much space. And have a look how that worked when things changed just marginally at Brisbane. All of a sudden, his last 2 months, you go through his stat, it's just been phenomenal. It's just been amazing. So Nathan Cleary, I think he sometimes gets a bad rap. I thought he was good last week.
Yeah, look, I'm probably in the camp where I want to see him produce a Penrith-like performance for New South Wales or Australia. That's the expectation is so high on Nathan because of the form level that he carries in the NRL. He was fine there was nothing wrong with his performance at all last week, right? But he was outshone by Munster, outshone by Watt. I want him to walk away as the man of the match.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably what is the only thing that's been lacking in an already decorated career for him.
Well, I think you both touched on it there. Michael, you said he was fine, and Gibbsy said he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but to go to that next level is what you want from your number 7 in green and gold. So both teams are making their way out onto the Everton Stadium in front of what is pretty much a packed house. It is an outstanding scene. I'll quickly run through the two lineups before the national anthems. The Australian side's fullback is Reece Walsh. Their wingers are Mark Nawaqanitawase and Josh Adokar. The centres, Katoni Staggs and Gemmet Shibasaki. Cam Munster and Nathan Cleary are the halves. Lindsay Collins and Tino Fasuamala-Awi are the front rowers. Harry Grant is the hooker. Angus Crichton and Hudson Young are the second rowers. And Pat Carrigan is the lock forward. Tom Dearden, Lindsay Smith, Ruben Cotter and Keon Kolomatangi is on the bench. Harry Grant, of course, is the captain, and Bradman Best is the 18th man. I'll see if I can get through this England team before the anthems begin. AJ Brimson is the fullback. Their wingers are Dom Young and Tom Johnson. Their centres are Herbie Farnworth and Jake Wardle, and their halves are George Williams and Mikey Lewis. Happy birthday to George Williams, but I'll come back to the rest of the England side after we hear from the Australian national anthem. In fact, I'll keep going with the England side just for the moment. Mike McKeegan and Matty Lees are the front rowers, and Jez Litton is the hooker. The second rowers are Callum Watkins and Kai Pearce-Paul, and the lock forward is Morgan Knowles. On the bench, we have number 14, Mikey Lewis, who was the halfback in Game 1. Number 15 is Alex Walmsley. Number 16 is Morgan Smithies, and number 17 is Mikolai Oledzki, and their 18th man is their hooker from Game 1, Darryl Clark. I beg your pardon? No, it's Owen Trout. Is their 18th man. Owen Trout is their 18th man. So let's start getting ready for the formalities from Everton Stadium. The anthems are just about to be sung at the brand new facility as a round of applause goes around. What a fantastic sight it is. The fireworks have gone off as well. And just incidentally, the referee is Grant Atkins, as we touched on, the NRL referee, with Marcus Griffiths and Matty Lynn touch judges. Jack Smith is in the video referee box. Let's get down to pitch level for the Australian national anthem to be sung by Rebecca Hart. Proud moment for Harry Grant, and a nice round of applause as well from the England fans. A few Australian fans in the crowd, but Harry Grant captaining his side for the first time. Here's Laura Wright. singing the England national anthem, God Save the King. And we are just about all in readiness. As I mentioned, Sean Wayne making 5 changes to the starting side. Darryl Clark, the starting hooker, has been left out of the side. Obviously, John Bateman is injured as well. Mikey Lewis drops back to the bench to see that change in the halves with Harry Smith coming in for his 8th Test match. And obviously the front row is changing as well, with Mike McKeegan getting a start and Mikolaj Oledzki coming in on the bench. Incidentally, born in Poland, only his 3rd Test match. Ethan Havard being left out. So the Polish-born Mikolaj Oledzki, who only discovered rugby league when he moved from Northampton to Leeds as a teenager. He was a good swimmer and rugby union player in his younger days, but a 3rd Test match for him. And this England side really needs to try to find something to try to keep the series alive. As I said, they were whitewashed in 2003. Gibbsy, how do you see this one play out? I spoke about before the game in the first Test. I thought it was going to be an arm wrestle early and then blow out, and that's kind of what happened. Do you see something similar here this afternoon, or does the Australian referee allow Australia to get on top early?
Well, that's going to be the fascinating part. We'll see how, what his interpretations will be, Grant Atkins. I don't think he can referee it like an NRL game. So there will be a little bit of leeway, but how much remains to be seen. I don't think we'll see as much as we saw last week with Liam Moore. I think there'll be more penalties, and this is a big moment for Grant Atkins, of course, who controlled the NRL Grand Final. So his interpretation, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think if it is controlled like an NRL game, that's not going to be good for the Pommies. The Australian get on the front foot, control that ruck, a faster ruck, or more open. We've been talking about the ruck. The 10 metres was so skinny last week as well. It won't be that skinny today, so we have the sides back. So, it's so important this open in 15 minutes, because if Australia score early, I think it could be a bloodbath.
And they've got to take chances. As Sean Wayne rightly said last week after the game, looking for positives, they did create some opportunities last week, but they didn't capitalise. So if they get an opportunity tonight or this morning, our time, they've got to take it.
So his 10th Test match, make it 11 Test matches now. 10th Test match, I beg your pardon, for Grant Atkins. His first since 2023. As George Williams will be getting us underway for England, and they will be kicking towards the southern end of the Everton Stadium. Australia with first use of the football through Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, and it's good contact as well. Jez Litton coming over the top to wrap up Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, and then from the second hit up, here comes Lindsay Collins up over the 10-metre line. He's brought to ground in centre field. 3 England players including Morgan Knowles, and we spoke about it before the game. There could be early penalties, and in just the second play of the Test match, England trying to slow things down. Mike McMeekin was the man who gave it away. Australia get the penalty 10 metres away from their own goal line. Nathan Cleary will look to kick for touch in drizzly conditions, and he finds touch about 10 short of the halfway line on the eastern side.
Well, we get an answer there straight away that Grant Atkins is not going to take that crap with them getting so slowly off to play the ball.
So Australia are able to start this new set just short of the halfway line. They play it through Young. Grant's at dummy half, one off the ruck, left-hand side is Pat Carrigan. He'll take the tackle right on the halfway line. So Grant Atkins has indicated to the England side just how difficult this may be this afternoon. He's Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. He's about 10 metres inside the English territory now. Kai Pearce-Paul involved in the defending. Now they come to the left. Reece Walsh to Crichton. Those two scored 4 between them in game 1. Crichton's brought to ground 20 away from England's line. Grant out at dummy half. There was hands around him as he tried to get the pass away. Munster picks it up off the ground, goes himself back towards the left, and Munster's brought to ground 20 away from the England line, and it's another penalty. They're coming from everywhere as well. Push and shove. Litton's on the ground getting manhandled by Fa'asuamaleaui. The England teammates aren't happy with the treatment that their hooker has just got. Now there's jersey grabbing all over the place. Kai Pearce-Paul. Dom Young is involved as well. Dom Young and Hudson Young are going at it. They're saying, who's the better Young on the field?
No relation, different sides.
Yeah, and it has kicked off early at the Everton Stadium. Now, they're still going here. They're wrapping their arms around each other. It's sort of eased off a bit, but Hudson Young is still very heavily involved. And the young men out there are just getting a little bit hot-headed. Lindsay Collins has already got to get the strapping sorted out on his head again. And this one's going to be a tough one for Grant Atkins to sort out again.
Yeah, well, something's happened off the ball. I think it's Harry Grant is on the ground there with that English player, and they come to a bit of pushing and shoving on the ground, and then Tino Fa'asuamaleaui tries to break it up, and that's when all the players start to run in. So that's what's it was Jez Lytton on the ground, so opposite hookers at each other there. I don't see too much in it.
Yeah, Lytton's grabbing Grant's collar. Lytton's over the top and Grant's laying on his back.
There's nothing.
They're all holding each other.
Yeah, it was Lytton and Grant, and Lytton, that's the only time we'd probably get hold of him.
Well, Fa'asuamaleaui comes across and throws Lytton to the ground, doesn't he?
Australia already received the penalty, so they'll go for goal here, 2-0, and then...
Don't forget, we're only a minute 40.
Oh, that's happened.
Let's have a listen to Grant Atkins.
Go back. You have the penalty. Tino comes and continues for a long period of time after being told multiple times to get out of it. Dom Young does equally as much.
So we could have a couple of seniors here. Tino Fa'asuamaleaui and Dom Young. They might find themselves in the bin.
I don't care, mate. What do you... I don't care. You continued and continued and continued. You continued and continued also, so you can go to the bin.
So Tino Fa'asuamaleaui has got the yellow card. Dom Young has got the yellow card. Of course, in the UK with the RFL rules, and they're both gone to the bin, and Tino wasn't happy about it.
No, he wasn't happy. He's telling Grant Atkins, this is a test match, you see. This is the thing. Times have changed. Tino's more a throwback to the olden days.
Yeah, but what are these sin bin for?
It's ridiculous.
It shouldn't even been a penalty. They both, the two hookers sort of, just grabbed each other on the floor, and then, Dom Young and Tino, they push and shove, and it carries on for a little bit. We're in 2 minutes of a test match. Just play on.
Well, we heard last week, didn't we, Liam Moore quite a few times just said, boys, calm your jets, let's get on with it. And that was good to see. Just let's get on with it.
Even the players smile because it's ludicrous. Nothing can happen. No one does anything now.
There's no
you
punches.
can't throw a punch. So what do you do this for?
So maybe Tino's thinking, I've already been put in the bin. I probably should have thrown one because it would have been the same result. So we go back to the original penalty that was blown, and Nathan Cleary has elected to take the 2 points via Harry Grant. So Nathan Cleary is right in front of the sticks, about 20 metres out at the northern end. Australia will get first points, you would have to think, and we're down to 12 on each side with Tino Fa'asuamaleaui and Dom Young both in the sin bin. And we heard Grant Atkins saying, I told you over and over again to stop, and you wouldn't listen. So Nathan Cleary from right in front moves in, makes no mistake. Australia leads 2 points to 0, and the England fans aren't particularly happy with the outcome and probably the officiating of the Australian referee.
Who would have thought the first scoring points at Evans Stadium was like the Toffees, a penalty?
Indeed.
It's a little one for you to think about, Michael.
I've already forgotten about it.
They scored a penalty in their first Premier League game there, did they, Gibson?
I don't know.
3 minutes gone. Australia lead England 2 points to 0. It is a bit like a soccer score, isn't it? 2-0, but maybe not after 3 minutes as Collins comes off the back fence with that head re-strapped. He had it strapped to start the game, but he had to get it. And look at these England players coming over the top. Lytton and also Knowles. They're fired up now. Angus Crichton has them all around him, but he gets the flick pass out the back to Reece Walsh. These two linking up early a couple of times so far. And Reece Walsh plays the ball 16 away from his own line. They go to the right-hand side. Hudson Young will take the tackle of 3 England players, including the veteran Callum Watkins, about 20 in from the eastern touchline and 25 away from his own line. Pat Carrigan is now wrapped up by 4 England players. I tell you what, that penalty and the sin binning has certainly fired England up in defence. They're wrapping the Australians up quickly here, but Australia find themselves just over the 30 where Collins is put to ground. Once again, Mike McMeekin and Watkins involved in the tackle. Grant's at dummy half on the final play. He goes left for Munster to kick downfield under pressure. Bounces a couple of times. It almost catches AJ out, but AJ Brimson picks it up and returns it up over the 20. The England fans thought there might have been a high shot from Shibasaki. The referee's happy to let it go on. That was a bit of a messy 10 metres as well, but Grant Atkins will sort them out on this next play. Harry Grant comes over the top, and there's another penalty. So it's the third penalty, and they're in again. They're going for it again. George Williams and Harry Grant are now nose to nose. This isn't quite as serious as the previous one.
Farnworth's thrown the ball.
It was a head slam on Harry Grant. Definitely a penalty.
As tensions continue to flare, Harry Grant comes over the top and head slams Farnworth, gives away the penalty, and then Herbie gets up and throws the ball at the Australian captain.
Yeah, what happened? Shibasaki dropped off the tackle there, and I think that sort of impacted what Harry Grant's momentum had in the tackle. So Shibasaki drops off late, and Harry Grant continues to finish the tackle, comes down. Definitely a penalty for the English side.
Grant Atkins, a very skinny 10 metres for both sides as well.
3 penalties, 2 sin binnings inside the first 6 minutes. As England find touch 30 away from Australia's line. I tell you what, maybe the ground staff at the new Everton Stadium could learn about line markings on the field, because you can't see a thing. They play the ball, they go to the left-hand side. They're probably worried about the next Everton game and they have to keep the pitch clean, but it's tough for us. Mike McMeekin has the ball 20 away from the line. Can they come up with something here, England? Litton goes left, short for Williams, gets it away to Watkins, and Watkins is 10 away from the line. 20 in from the eastern touchline. They come back open side right. Williams gets it away to Morgan Knowles. Knowles thinks about the offload, takes the tackle of Crichton and Grant. 10 away from the line, centre field. They'll come back left. Litton out of dummy half. Gets it away to Smith, keeping it along. They've got numbers. Tom Johnson goes towards the touchline. Had to throw the pass. Oh, Mark Mwanganita-Wazi almost flick passes it to himself. Now he loses it forward, picked up by England. They'll get 6 again. And finally, Harry Smith is brought to ground, 20 away from Australia's line on 0 play. Well, it was good effort from Tom Johnson, because he had a lot of Australian players pushing him over the touchline. He got the pass away. They get it back. Litton's at dummy half. He goes left. Brimson looking for a way through. He's unable to find it. So he plays the ball 8 away from the line, adjacent to the left-hand upright. They come back towards the centre. Oh, good strong run close to the line by Mike McMeekin, and they get a penalty, 2 away. So England might try to level things up here, or do they keep the foot on the throat?
No, they'll level it up. They'll go for 2-2 all. This is an old-fashioned type of game.
Bizarre bit of play there. Tony Stabs was caught short, rushed in, and allowed Tom Johnston to get on the outside. Reece Walsh makes a huge try-saving effort, and then Mark Mwanganita-Wazi, I have no idea what he was doing.
He was flick passing it to himself.
But around the back.
I know,
it was around
weird.
the back to himself. I think, I don't know. He just had to make that, just get tackled, play the ball, and then Australia would have been let off the hook there. But, yeah, bizarre play from the Kangaroos.
They just go to ground.
From the spot, they'll take the penalty.
Yeah, they're right in front, 10 away. And the England side, first real foray down towards that southern end, towards Australia's goal line. And they asked a few questions there. They threw it to the left. They almost had the numbers through Tom Johnson as well. So positive signs from England with the first ball, or the first time they had the ball down that end of the field. So Harry Smith, a regular goal kicker for England. He scored 9 from 10 on debut back in 2023. Scored a try as well. This is his 8th test match for the Wigan halfback. 161 games for the club. He moves in, makes no mistake, and it is 2 points all with 8 minutes gone between Australia and England in the second test at the Everton Stadium, John Gibbs.
There's been a couple of good surges also from Matty Lees. He's done some really good work up the middle of the park, and good work from George Williams. They know they've got to get the ball on the outside, but Tom Johnston, he threw it on the inside, but Mwanganita-Wazi went to flick it to Staggs, but ended up flicking it to himself.
Yeah, it was quite bizarre, wasn't it? So the England side back on level terms. Mark Mwanganita-Wazi just... he didn't have an incredible game in the first test either. They didn't get too expansive, the Australians. They probably didn't need to. They were able to go straight through the middle. But the England side will be tails up now. Don't forget there's 12 players on the field for both sides, with Dom Young and Tino Fasumala-Awi in the sin bin for their respective test match sides. And now Tom Johnson comes off his wing and takes the ball 12 away in centre field. Coming out short through the middle is Herbie Farnworth. He makes it up over the 20-metre line. Centre field still. Litton picks it up one-handed out of dummy half, and then he's met a strong tackle by Hudson Young. as Lytton gets up off his back, 30 away from the goal line. Now they come short, one off the ruck, right-hand side again. Happy to go through the middle of the park, England. They're just short of the halfway line, and they'll get up and play it through Brimson. Come to the left-hand side and kick from just outside 40 on the final play. It goes straight down the ground. Nwangane takes it on his own 10-metre line, and then McMeekin again is leading the charge in defence, and he makes the tackle with his front row teammate Matty Lees and one other on the Roosters winger. As they go to the left now, Josh Adokar with his first touch of the ball. 10 minutes gone. It's been a pretty frenetic start. 2 sin binnings and 4 penalties so far, as England 4-5 players in the tackle once again. George Williams, Mike McMeekin, the last ones to peel off, and now Munster at first receiver dummies goes himself, takes the tackle 30 away from his line in centre field. As he gets up, slowly plays the ball. Grant waits at dummy half, thinks about going right, goes left. Walsh gets it away to Shibasaki, flat pass. He's got Adokar, but he goes himself, and now they've brought it back for a forward pass. It did look forward, I've got to say, from Reece Walsh. I called it flat live, but they've brought it back, and I reckon that is probably the right call out of the hands from Reece Walsh. Yeah, it's gone about a metre.
Yeah, no problems with that one. It was sort of a late call, though, because it went on for a while, obviously on the advice of the touch judge. Shibasaki was almost into a hole, but that one went forward from Reece Walsh. But it shows you how dangerous they are. They're playing at close quarters, though.
Yeah, George Williams is down as well. He was a bit of discomfort after making that tackle on Shibasaki, which he obviously didn't need to because it had been called a forward pass. But England with the ball.
They win the scrum, they go to the left-hand side, and they have it just inside Australia's territory, about 11 metres inside Australia's territory. They get up and play it. Now here's Callum Watkins, the veteran, the 34-year-old in his 30th Test match. Quick play the ball as well, 26 away from Australia's line. McMeekin bounces off a couple, still going. Munster comes again. Collins helps him out and wraps him up. They're 14 away from the line. They've looked good down here, England. Now they spin it left. Smith changes direction back to the right. Waiting for it is Farnworth. Skips away from a couple off his left foot. Tries to get the flick pass, thinks about it, but he's held up in the tackle and then brought to ground by Munster coming underneath, and Josh Adokar helping out over the top. Farnworth is trying to clear the ruck. Munster's laying there, so making sure he doesn't get involved. And Kai Pearce-Paul finds himself at dummy half. They go through their hands left. Knowles gets it away to Williams. Chipping over the top for Johnson, flying high. Oh, Nwangane did just about enough to get his hand there and knock it out of Johnson's grasp. It has come off England, I think you'll find the touch judge is saying. We'll wait for the call, but Mark Nwangane just got his hand in there. It stayed inside the field of play, and it might have gone forward off Mark Nwangane anyway. Bounces unbelievably just inside the touchline, and this will be, I think this will be an England ball, Gibbsy.
Yeah, it was Nwangane who desperately knocked the ball over the sideline because he had to jump on him, Johnston. They're showing a little bit of fight here, some pluck from the English.
Yeah, it came forward out of Nwangane hands, and they come again. So Pearce-Paul, 10 away from the line. Lytton, dummy half, short one off the ruck, left-hand side, McMeekin, and he takes the tackle about 5 away from the line. We're back at parity as well, 13 on 13 again, 6 more for England. Left-hand side they go. Importantly for Australia, they have Tino Fa'asuamaleaui back in the middle. Brimson is 6 away from the line. Dom Young back on for England after that sin binning. Farnworth's at dummy half. Lytton's at first receiver. This is a bit, they don't quite have the options there, and McMeekin just takes the tackle 8 away from the goal line on his back, slowly getting up and playing the ball for Lytton at dummy half. They go right for Smith, first receiver. Williams out the back, takes it to the line. Farnworth, flick pass, Dom Young goes to the line, doesn't quite get there. Walsh and Shibasaki come across, drag him into touch. They'll go upstairs, but this won't be a try. That is great goal line defending from Walsh and Shibasaki to put Dom Young into touch. 2-2 with 13 and a half gone.
Well, incredibly, Reece Walsh's defence has been as good as his attack in recent games, in big games, the first test, and we also saw what he did in the grand final. But his contact on Dom Young, a much bigger man, was enormous. He got some help from Shibasaki, good flick pass from Herbie Farnworth, but he hit him with everything, Reece Walsh.
Yeah, the contact, you're right, Gibbs. It is that initial contact, but I think if Shibasaki doesn't come in over the top as well, he probably still scores. So nice bit of work there from the Australian side, because the English team did strip him for numbers. It was a nice ball. Dom Young got on the outside, and if it wasn't for some good defence, the English side would have scored by now.
Jack Smith is in the video referee's box, as he was in the first Test match. Grant Atkins has gone upstairs because this all happened right on that touchline goal line triangle. So they're going to check everything.
They're not going to say it's a high tackle, surely.
Walsh comes over the top, grabs his shoulder.
He's 7 foot tall, Dom Young.
Yeah, Dom Young puts the ball over the touchline. It's a good flick pass out the back from Farnworth, and they look dangerous going forward, England.
Yeah, they have. They're shifting the ball. They've had plenty of ball. They've had all of the territory, all of the possession.
The defender there, and the player then goes into touch. So this will be a penalty only in this situation.
So they're going to say that this is a high shot from Reece Walsh. He's gone round the back of him and copped him on the shoulder.
It fell off him. Anyway, they've looked at it. They've got a penalty, so there'll be more pressure coming.
So there might be an Australian referee on the field, but there's an English referee in the video box, and he's come up with a high shot on Reece Walsh.
Referees don't take sides.
No, of course not. England lead the penalty count 3-2, and this will be their third, only about a metre away from the goal line. Grant Atkins makes it official for the high shot from Reece Walsh on Dom Young. Desperate goal line defending by the Australians. And I never understand this. George Williams kicks backwards for the kick for touch, where they could have just gone...
Walked it back
to wherever they wanted to and took the tap anyway. So Williams will now... So now they're saying you've got to take it up to the 10-metre line. Well, he could have gone back to 15 if he wanted.
They can't see the 10-metre lines.
Yeah. They've got to take it on the 18-yard box. As Kai Pearce-Paul has it for England about 3 metres away from the goal line, with Carrigan and also Crichton making the tackle. Litton comes out of dummy half, scoots to the left, and then he has a runner coming back towards the ruck in Matty Lees. He'll get up and play the ball 3 away from the line. Litton long ball to first receiver Smith, left-hand side. Williams is out the back. Numbers again. Brimson dummies goes himself. AJ Brimson 8 away from the goal line. Brought to ground by Katoni Staggs, and one other 5 in from the eastern touchline. Williams first receiver again. Morgan Knowles drops it as cold as a spud, and that is the opportunity lost for England. Sean Wayne is just about spitting out his water. It is 2-2, England and Australia. 14 and a half minutes gone, but England know that is a massive opportunity lost.
Yeah, it is, and we saw in the first game where England dominated territory in that first game and couldn't find a way to score. They're playing with better intent this morning, but they needed to find a way to score some points and capitalise on all the early possession that they've had. But the Kangaroos will get some confidence out of repelling them.
So Josh Adokar, after they win the scrum, has the ball going towards the left-hand side. He's over the 20-metre line where he's brought to ground, gets up and plays it for Harry Grant, and then his Tino Fasuamala Awi, fresh after his sin binning, takes the tackle 27 away from his line, centre field. Grant comes back left. Munster's waiting for it. Cuts back on the inside. Oh, Crichton is whacked by Matty Lees. That is a really good tackle by the big England front rower. Crichton gets up, plays the ball, and then a bit of afters with the marker as well after a huge shot. Now Munster finds himself potentially in an obstruction situation, so he just stops in his tracks. That is a monster hit from Matty Lees. He also had Callum Watkins in behind him, I beg your pardon, Kai Pearce-Paul in behind him, who just sort of whacked him forward as well. And now Carrigan tries to get up and play the ball quickly, and Grant Atkins is saying that he's just lost it as he tries to get up and play it. George Williams was getting away from the ruck. Australia might think about challenging this, but at the moment, a knock on Australia, and England get the scrum feed right on halfway.
Well, he did just lose that. He might have got a little bit of leg in there, but if it was that obvious, he would have challenged, and Pat Carrigan, I think, was embarrassed. And when Harry Grant said, you want to challenge, he said, better not.
That's after remonstrating with the referee.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Kevy in the outdoor box with England fans right next to him, enjoying their afternoon next to the Australia coach, no doubt. England win the scrum on halfway, and they go to the left-hand side where they will play the ball through Jake Wardle. Get up and come back one off the ruck inside right for Callum Watkins. He plays at 8 metres inside Australia's territory. Geez, the Aussies have been camped down their own half for a large part of this first half. There's 16 and a half gone, a penalty goal apiece, it's 2-2. England have the ball 30 away from Australia's line through Morgan Knowles. He'll get up and play at about 23 away after a decent run towards the Australian line. Litton thinks about going right, goes left. Williams will try to grub her through. Fasumala Ayu was there. It was it played at? The referee is saying no, I think, so the play will continue. It's play 5. Now Watkins finds himself at dummy half, and Williams will have to go to the skies on this occasion. They go to the right. They're all coming up for it. Knocked back by Farnworth into the path of Angus Crichton, and he will wrap it up for Australia and go to ground. Angus Crichton ensuring that England can't get the ball back on that occasion. They'll have to come away from their own end again through Shibasaki. 2-2 after 17.
Australia's handling it quite well, and they just like the finesse. They just don't have a player who can get through. The kicking is probably their best option, although AJ Brimson maybe's got to get more involved as well.
0467 920 222. Michael Carianis, John Gibbs. I'm Glenn Lauder. As kicking on the fourth play from inside 30 is Nathan Cleary. Bounces on England's 20-metre line. Dom Young picks it up on the second bounce on his own 10. And then he wraps himself around and goes back over the 20. And he takes this tackle 21 away from his line. So England now deep inside their own territory. They don't want to give away an error here and let the Australians back in. There's 17, 18 minutes gone now, and Tom Johnson plays it on his own 30-metre line. Strong contact there with Angus Crichton and Fasua Malawi coming over the top of Wardle. Playing the ball in just inside 40 now. He did this a couple of times in the first test. Lytton coming out of dummy half and kicking, looking for the 40-20. This time, Mark Nwonganitawazi was onto it, but he was looking for that 40-20 out of dummy half was Lytton, and Nwonganitawazi ensures that he doesn't get there, and he makes another 20 metres as well. He's brought down on the 40. Next play, they go to the left, and they play the ball through Staggs on halfway, continuing to the left, one off the ruck. Quick play the ball for the Australians, and that's a decent carry as well. They find themselves well inside England territory now as they play the ball about 30 in that England half. They go to the left now. Cleary through their hands. Shibasaki gets it away to Josh Adokar. He was flirting with the touchline, so he went to ground, but he continued to slide towards the touchline under pressure from Dom Young, and Young was able to continue that tackle, and Josh Adokar's arm touches the touchline just before he's able to get the ball away. So he's into touch. England get the ball. There's 19 minutes gone, and it's still 2-2. That's good scrambling defence again from Dom Young.
Yeah, it was good defence from England. They're aiming up a lot better than they did in that first test. The question will be how long they can go with the Kangaroos. But at the moment, they're going really well.
So England will play the ball and start this set about 15 away from their own line, and Johnson is met in a strong tackle. Cleary, Collins involved. He plays the ball 20 away from his own line. Hudson Young goes down low, and then coming over the top is Collins. Playing the ball for England 25 metres away from their own line. They go one off the ruck right-hand side, and McMeekin goes on another strong carry. He's held up in the tackle 30 away. We're a quarter of the way through this one, and it's 2-2. It took a while for Australia to get going in the first test as well. And this will be another penalty. Cam Munster, this time with a really similar play to Harry Grant earlier. In fact, I think they've got someone for being tackled off the ball. It was Angus Crichton that might have tackled someone off the ball, but I thought it could have been a penalty anyway, because Cam Munster did the old back slam from the subsequent play, and you can just see there, it was Lindsay Collins getting Morgan Knowles without the ball in hand.
Well, they've had oodles and oodles of possession. They've had, about 58-42, I think it is at the moment, possession-wise. So the problem for the Australians, who are handling things well at the moment, will be fatigue. If England can hang on to the ball, at some stage the Australians will have to get tired.
England, had plenty of the ball, and they have it again through Kai Pearce-Paul, 25 away from the line. They go to the left-hand side. They've already made a change as well, England. Morgan Smithies is on the field for just his second test match. So an early change for the England side in Sean Wayne. They go to the right-hand side, and here's Kai Pearce-Paul again. He's 3 away from the goal line. Getting up slowly and playing the ball for Lytton, 20 in from the western touchline. They go left for Williams to grub it towards the in goal. Walsh can't handle it. England come down, and they say they will come up with a try, but I reckon they might have knocked the ball on close to the line as well. Morgan Knowles is the man who thinks he might have scored. I reckon this will be a first knock on Reece Walsh, second knock on Morgan Knowles, and that is what Grant Atkins has on the field as well. So we go to the video referee, Jack Smith, once again gives it.
Yeah, it looked like that. There's definitely a knock on from Reece Walsh. That was a good kick, there's no doubt about it. George Williams kicks in behind, and that is their best option. They're all on side. Reece Walsh getting across, smothering it, he definitely knocks it on. Whether it's been knocked on by Morgan Knowles, I'm not sure, but it has. So that'll be confirmed. First knock on will be against Australia, and England again will be able to apply pressure.
Yeah, it was a good kick there from George Williams. It was interesting to see the shape that they just took out of that play. It was Herbie Farnworth, who's a right-sided player, actually looked to the left-hand side, and instead of going to him out the back, George Williams kicks the ball, but I'd love to see him go out the back to Herbie Farnworth, because he's created that extra man coming from the right-hand side of the field to the left.
England looks probably the most dangerous last week when they were kicking as well. And George Williams has clearly gone for this little grubber in behind a few times this evening. So they've obviously...
Well, they can't run it through, Glenn. They can't run through the Australians, so they've got to come up with something a little bit different. When they're spread it wide, they've run out of space. The sliding defence has accommodated them quite comfortably. So the kick, which has made all the more difficult because we've only got the 5 metre in-goal line, but this will be more pressure coming up for the Australians. It's taken old Jack Smith an age.
I know.
Last week he was very quick with these.
Yeah, he didn't get them right last week.
Yeah, so it is going to be an England scrum. He has got this one right ultimately, and England will get the scrum 10 metres away from Australia's goal line. And once again, they can continue this pressure on Australia. England have completed 9 of their 11 sets. Australia only 4 of their 8 sets.
What a score here. They have to score.
Yeah, you'd have to think so. 21 minutes gone. It's 2-all. England.
Grimston or Farnworth, that's where they should be dangerous in this situation.
England attacking Australia's line again. The scrum finds Lytton at the base of it. They go to the right. That's batted on from George Williams, potentially forward. No, says the referee. It ends up with Farnworth. He's 15 away from Australia's line. Brimson's at dummy half, gets it away to Morgan Smithies. It's the Australian-based connection at the moment for England. Morgan Smithies is on his back, slowly gets up, plays it 9 away. Lytton left-hand side, 1 off the ruck. Smith gets it away to Knowles. On it goes now to Williams. Short ball trying to find a way through his Wardle, but he's brought to ground by Cleary and a couple of others. 7 away from the line. Brimson back at dummy half. Now Watkins goes towards the goal line. He can't find a way through. 4 away. Katoni Staggs and Grant doing the defending there. Adjacent to the right hand upright. Short ball from dummy half. Trying to find a way through again is Brimson. He sends his back into traffic. Matty Lees is brought to ground now, about 3 away from the line. Plays it for Lytton, going right. And Smith gets it away to Farnworth, grubbering towards the in-goal. Dom Young is coming. He might have got a hand down on there. Reece Walsh comes across in cover, trying to shepherd it over the goal line, or the dead ball line. But Dom Young might have got a hand on there. Grant Atkins says he probably didn't get the grounding. 2-all after 22 and a half minutes.
No grounding, but who knocked the ball dead?
I think Dom Young.
Looks like it.
I think he knocks it on. He gets around Reece Walsh, does a great work there. And this is the skinny in goal, comes to haunt England a little bit here because it was a well-timed kick from Farnworth, but I think Dom Young, just as he tries to reach around, just knocks the ball on.
Let's have a listen to Jack Smith.
See who it touches if it's grounded. This. Let's get a hand to this ball. Got anything else? Maybe the other side.
So this will be a knock-on from Dom Young as he tries to ground the ball.
He gets fingertips to that ball, or he appears to get fingertips to it, and then this separation. Just go back onto the same angle, please. We'll run this angle.
I don't think so.
20-minute restart. Come on, let's get on with it.
Already said we're going to the 20.
We've heard Jack Smith say that Dom Young, there's separation from his fingertips. So why is he still looking at
He
him?
must have got a bollocking during the week
Because too quick.
because last week he was really quick.
Well, that was quite incredible. He literally said there's fingertips and separation, and then he had another 2 looks at it. So Australia to the 20 metre, up over the 20 they go, and Australia will play the ball about 25 away. In fact, they get the penalty because England too slow to get off the ruck there. And that's a bit of a coach killer, isn't it? Because England had all this momentum. They go, at Australia, give away a 20-metre restart, and then give a penalty away as Nathan Cleary will kick for touch. With 23 minutes gone and 2-all to score, he finds touch just short of the halfway line.
That's true, Glenn, but really they've had so much possession, they've had so much territory. Have they really had a genuine try-scoring opportunity? No.
So Angus Crichton has the ball correct. Thank you, Gibbsy. Just inside England's territory. He takes Morgan Smithies for a bit of a walk, and now they're having a little bit of a dalliance as well as they try to wrestle each other free. But he plays the ball 3 metres inside England's territory. Ruben Cotter is on the park, of course, played big minutes last week with that early HIA for Isaiah. They go to the right, and now it's Fasumala Awi taking it up to within 32 of England's line, 20 in from the eastern touchline. Coming back left, Cleary open side, Cotter again. His second touch of the ball this set. It's play 4, and they are only about 20 metres away from England's line as Angus Crichton takes it up towards the 10-metre line. Then he's put on his back. Still 2-all, 24 minutes gone. Crichton gets up and plays it for Grant, dummy half. It's an ugly play, the ball. The markers are not on side. Grant runs into them, trying to sort of push that penalty. He does get the 6 again. And now Cam Munster has his legs taken out underneath him by Smithies, and he'll get that penalty for the Cannonball about 8 metres away from the goal line as Grant Atkins calls time off because Cam Munster is just a little bit ginger as he gets up off his feet there, John Gibbs.
Yeah, they tried to do that a couple of occasions to come in with a Cannonball. That was unnecessary. Morgan Smithies, that was a penalty every day of the week. They'll probably kick the goal here and go to a 4-2 lead. It's tight. They could be playing at Twickenham, not Everton.
Lucky Cam Munster saw him coming. Cam Munster saw Smithies coming and sort of lifted his leg a little bit to try and minimise the impact. Australia are going to go for 2 here, so it'll be 4-2. The Kangaroos lead without any genuine try-scoring opportunities for Australia.
Yeah, 24 minutes gone. England with 54% of the ball. And speaking of Twickenham, quite remarkable that Australia are taking on the Wallabies. I beg your pardon, the Wallabies are taking on England as well in about 5 minutes' time, at the same time as Australia and England in the Rugby League.
I think it's tomorrow morning.
No, it's happening at 2:10.
Is it?
In 4 minutes' time.
Wow.
Indeed. Says Ned Hall, and so does the Wallabies website. Yes. So Nathan Cleary is pretty much right in front, 25 metres away.
I'm focused on this one.
I know, as we all are. Cleary moves in, makes no mistake. 4 points to 2. Australia leading England via penalty goals all over the place. 0467 920 222. Thank you to Cess, Babe and Baby Beck. And Tess listening in Bethania, Queensland. I sent Baby Beck to sleep last week, didn't I? So that was, if I want to send anyone to sleep listening to the call, it's little Baby Beck who's keeping Tess and Cess awake in Bethania in Queensland.
This is really an old-fashioned style test match, and Grant Atkins is probably adjusting. He's changed his style of refereeing definitely.
Yeah, obviously, trying to... Well, he's also refereeing under RFL rules as well.
Correct.
Or laws of the game as well. So Fasumala Awi is 8 metres away from the goal line. They go to the right-hand side, and Hudson Young, it is a real arm wrestle, that is for sure. He takes the tackle 15 away from his own goal line, and Jake Wardle is involved in the tackle. Hudson Young is grabbing onto his jersey as Young tries to get up and play the ball. He lets go of Wardle's jumper and then plays it. Left-hand side, they go Katoni Staggs. Katoni Staggs is about 16 away from his line, getting up and playing the ball for Grant. Dummy half, left-hand side he goes for Carrigan, going on a strong run. Pat Carrigan, good strong post-contact leg meters there, and he is on his back ultimately after the tackle of Pierce Paul. Plays it 29 away from the line. Right-hand side, one off the ruck goes Ruben Cotter's been strong since he's come on in the last few minutes. He's only a couple short of the halfway line. Grant's at dummy half, throws it back to Cleary, who'll kick from just inside 40 on the final play, but there's no drama for Tom Johnson, and he takes it on his own 10-metre line, brings it up over the 20, and England will start this set about 23 away from their own goal line, trailing now 4 points to 2 with 14 minutes or 13 and a half to go in the first half. And the England side, if they can get to half-time with a similar scoreline, they won't be too disappointed. Of course, last week, don't forget, it was 8 points to 0 at half-time, and Australia ran away with it in the second half. Now, there's, I think the Australians, they were celebrating with each other, and they almost threw a punch at each other there. So Dom Young has ended up without the ball. England, I think, might have thrown a forward pass there, and they are going...
Challenge
upstairs. I'm not sure what the ruling was originally by Grant Atkins.
I think it's going to be the ball has hit it.
Gets him the first contact, I believe. Yeah. Hand to hand and touches straight and turns out control. Tackle 3, no knock on.
So Grant Atkins is saying that England did fumble on the way through, but it touched an Australian player as they fumbled. Dom Young here. Must admit I didn't quite see a fumble. It just bounces off Munster's arm. He swaps arms.
He's still got it. I think this will be successful.
No, I think it will be.
On first glance.
I reckon he just swaps arms.
Yeah, no issue with this one. That's why none of us picked it up.
He's carrying the ball with his right arm. Let's have a listen.
Keep watching the whole tackle through.
Cam Munster is making a legitimate tackle. Then comes out of Dom Young's hand onto Cam Munster's arm.
Stop there.
Does it?
He's still got a handler.
It absolutely doesn't. It's still between Dom Young's right arm and his chest.
He was going to make a decision there, Jack, and Grant Atkins has talked him out of it.
Yeah, it says watch it closely or something. There's no way that's a Kangaroos ball.
No,
it'll be inconclusive.
No, I reckon this will be unsuccessful. Yeah. It's rolled from his right arm to his left arm across his chest. I can't see how he's lost that ball. Certainly not into an Australian player anyway. So anyway,
he always had control of it, so the ball did move, but he had his arm on it all the time.
He had his right arm, and then he had his left arm on it without ever losing grip of the ball. So
there was a bobble, but he still had his
the
arm
hand
on
over the ball. So, like, that would be...
Yep.
If you're going to call that one, you'd call almost every tackle in rugby league.
The reason why they celebrated it is this is the best field position they had in the whole half.
The scrum is 30 metres away from England's line. They win it, they go right. Reece Walsh plays the ball 21 away from the line. 6 again, it doesn't matter. It was the first anyway, as they have the ball through Hudson Young. Met in a strong tackle. Morgan Smithies on his Canberra teammate coming over the top. As Young gets up and plays the ball 25 away from the line. One off the ruck, left-hand side comes Fasumala Awi. Matty Lees goes low. Knowles goes high, tries to force the ball out. The referee is saying it's a lost ball, and now look at the England fans, players celebrating.
Having a fracas with themselves.
See, now I reckon Australia might be a little bit hard done by here, because Fasumala Awi was trying to sneak an offload under heavy pressure, but I don't think the play was completed. 4-2 Australia lead, 12 and a half to go first half.
Gone forward.
Yeah. We saw the replay.
It's gone forward. So he desperately was trying to offload. It's better defence, but it's just the execution that's poor from the English. What about Sean Wayne? You reckon he celebrated? Celebrated like John Wayne winning a gunfight.
So what happened there? Tino was trying to sneak the pass away, and because it came off an England arm in the ruck, it looked like it went backwards off the Australian, but it's because it bounced off an England arm. So Dom Young ends up with it for England about a minute after losing the ball, and he'll play it 25 away in centre field. There's 12 to go in the first half. It's still 4-2 Australia. Morgan Smithies has it for England, 30 away from his own goal line, 20 in from the eastern touchline. He plays it for Litton, one off the ruck, right-hand side he goes, and the Australian players, 3 of them come over the top to wrap up the England player getting up and playing it just short of halfway. As they continue to the right-hand side, getting it away to Kai Pearce-Paul. He goes towards the halfway line, tries to get some post-contact metres. Grant Atkins calls held, and then he'll tell him to get back on the mark because he walked about 3 metres forward after he called held. So it's the final play just outside halfway. Harry Smith goes to the skies, taken by Nwanganita-Waze. He's got his left knee pretty heavily strapped, and he takes the tackle 20 away from his own goal line, 10 in from the eastern touchline. Australia having to get away from their own end again. Kotoni Staggs takes it up towards the 30. He's about 26 away in centre field, and he'll play the ball for Grant to come left. Through the hands of Walsh and Munster. Munster dummies, goes himself, looks for an offload, but Morgan Smithies is there. There's 4 England players again to wrap him up. They've obviously been focused on numbers in defence, and Munster takes the tackle. Grant's at dummy half, one off the ruck, right-hand side for Crichton. Once again, there's 4 England players. Knowles coming over the top, and also Callum Watkins involved as well. Grant's at dummy half. Right-hand side through the hands. It goes to Cleary, and then he's wrapped up in the tackle. Couldn't get the pass away after Smith came over the top. Final play. So Reece Walsh will have to kick under heavy pressure. No, the referees waved that play on. I thought there might have been some contacts that may have been a touch illegal on Reece Walsh as he got the kick away, but the referee says it's okay, and Brimson will play it 20 away from his own goal line, 10 to go in the first half. Australia 4, England 2.
Well, they've been most competitive, there's no doubt about that, and it is again a really skinny 10. You can see it, it's so obvious. Play the balls are slow, and this suits England, and they're making the most of it in all areas except getting across the try line.
Decent set here as well. This is play 4. They're up to halfway through McMeekin. He'll play the ball, and they'll come out of dummy half, right-hand side. Dummying going himself is George Williams, and then takes the tackle 30 away from Australia's line on the final play. Litton's at dummy half, goes left for Harry Smith to put the high kick up in the air. Look at the chasers coming through. Dom Young. Reece Walsh goes up. He might have been tackled in the air. Still the last. Gets it away to Morgan. Knowles comes up with it, and he's about a metre away from the goal line. So England almost come up with a try there after the knock back from Dom Young. It might have been a knock on. I thought there could have been hands in there from Reece Walsh, but the referee said it was all England. It was still the last play. Reece Walsh might have just flown through the air and not got anything on it. I think it was Herbie Farnworth that got there, and the English almost got there, John T.
Yeah, they did, and again, Australia, they had plenty of numbers there. I was just worried about the fatigue, and Australia's their completions have been very poor and they're struggling to get out of their own end.
Yeah, they've only completed 10 of 15 sets at 66%. And Wanganita will play the ball 27 away from his own goal line. Fasumala Awi, left-hand side, he goes. And he's brought to ground. Alex Walmsley's on the park for England, coming over the top as Harry Grant scoots out of dummy half and will take the tackle 5 away from the halfway line in centre field. Slowly getting up and playing the ball for Walsh at dummy half, right-hand side Cleary. Final play, so he kicks deep. Tom Johnson's waiting for it on his 10-metre line, takes it comfortably, and then returns it up towards the 20, where Hudson Young is leading the chase alongside Katoni Staggs. And England will start this set at 20 away from their own goal line as they go to the right-hand side now. One-on-one tackle, Reuben Cotter. England thought it might have been high. The referee thought it was okay. Another skinny 10. And Dom Young runs into that Australian defensive line. Kolomatangi on the park now comes over the top with Harry Grant. 11 short of halfway, England. One off the ruck, left-hand side, Alex Walmsley. Takes it to within 4 of the halfway line centre field. He'll play it quickly out of dummy half. Is Litton scooting, trying to catch the Australians offside or a gap between the ruck. It closes very quickly, and he's 10 inside Australia's territory. Williams is at dummy half, final play, left for Harry Smith. Puts the kick downfield. Reece Walsh is trying to run that escort play for Mark Nwanganitawase, but he does it legally, and Nwanganitawase takes the catch 10 away from his own goal line. So Australia once again have to try to get away from their own end. Reece Walsh tries to make something happen, but he runs back towards the ruck, back towards traffic, and takes the tackle pretty much right where Nwanganitawase was brought down one play earlier. 7 minutes to go in the first half. And Australia lead 4 points to 2 as Crichton tries to make something happen here. Gets away from a couple of players. Gets the offload away as well. The England defence didn't really know what was going on either. And Hudson Young will play it 30 metres away from his own goal line and 14 in from the eastern touchline on play 3. They come to the left. They're kicking early as well. Cleary from inside 30. Will it have the distance to be a 40-20? It's a really good kick, but is it a 40-20? We can't. It is. It's a huge kick.
Just time off. I'm just going to have it reviewed.
They're going to check this because you can't see the lines on the field, MC. Is this a 40-20? It's certainly inside 40. It was from about 30.
Yeah, Grant Atkins indicated straight away that he thought it was a 40-20, but obviously because of the poor line marking, it's just hard to get a gauge. But I'm pretty sure that's inside the 40 there.
Well, that's 27 metres away from his own goal line.
So, and it definitely lands inside the 20.
Or does it? I think that's,
where's
I
that
think
line?
that's
Isn't that the red line there?
No, it is.
No, it is.
It was a perfect corkscrew. It was off the outside of his foot. He reversed it. It was a beautiful kick. Great execution. This is a real opportunity. Australia should score here.
So they go to the left-hand side. Munster gets it away to Cotter, and Cotter takes the tackle 10 away from the line. Gets up and plays the ball for Grant. Dummy half, right-hand side, Cleary. Short ball, Kolomatangi. Good tackle from Callum Watkins to put Kolomatangi on his back to slow things down close to the line. But Grant, dummy half, flat ball for Cotter. Forward pass from Grant out of dummy half for Cotter. The England fans, you could hear calling it straight away, and the referee has obliged. So that is a big let-off for England. They're off the hook there. Grant out of dummy half takes 3 steps. Forward pass to Reuben Cotter. England get the ball back. They trail 4-2, 5.5 to go first half.
Well, you're going to put that down to the good defence because it was a great 40-20, and I thought to get that close to the line they'd be able to score. But really, it is such a tight match, and they were forced to throw a pass there. Harry Grant, I think it was overrun by Reuben Cotter, but Harry Grant, he should have known to just take the tackle. They had plenty of tackles up their sleeve, but that's a real confidence booster to the English.
Yeah, so they win the scrum and they go right through Farnworth. He'll play the ball about 12 away from his goal line. Dom Young comes in off his wing to carry through the middle, put on his back by Cotter and Carrigan. 20 away from the line. The Newcastle winger gets up and plays the ball. They go to the left for Smithies and then on to Walmsley. Alex Walmsley, the big front rower who plays for St Helens, will play the ball. They go to the left-hand side. Brimson through the hands to Wardle, and Wardle is just short of the halfway line, about 3 away from that halfway stripe. Brimson back into dummy half. They come back right now, and now that is Smithies, who is met in a pretty good tackle with Carrigan underneath, and then Cotter finishing him up over the top as they go left from Litton out of dummy half. The kick on halfway from the final play goes down to Nwanganitawase, 5 metres away from his own goal line, and he returns this back up to the 20. There's just over 4 to go in the first half, MC. Still only Australia 4-2, no tries.
Yeah, it's been a gripping game. It definitely has been. It's had all the intensity that we hoped that we would have seen it in that first test. But, yeah, it's a real arm wrestle at the moment. And the Kangaroos have had a couple of opportunities late in this first half, but they haven't been able to ice them.
Hudson Young plays the ball 12 short of halfway. They go to the right now, Short, Cleary and Staggs. Katoni Staggs is 2 away from the halfway line. Gets up and plays the ball for Grant out of dummy half. Koloamatangi will take it up over halfway. He's about 2 inside English territory, and Grant's still at dummy half going left-hand side. Final play, so Munster goes to the skies. Brimson's waiting for it on his own 10. Walsh does really well to get there and bat it backwards, but Harry Smith is there for England to wrap it up, and the referee Atkins is going to say it was a knock-on from Reece Walsh. It certainly went forward, but I thought it was backwards off his hands. He was facing his own goal line, it looked like, when he got the bat back, but the referee has decided otherwise, and England will get to play the ball 10 away from their own goal line, trailing 4-2.
Yeah, well, Brimson was standing there. He looks like he gets it. That's gone back from
How has that gone forward?
That's a bounce forward, but should have been play on. England had it anyway, so it wasn't a major drama, but I reckon that was play on as well.
England knocked on as they went to try to pick the ball up over near the wing, so Australia would have got the ball back. Reece Walsh has batted that backwards.
Was because of the penalty that was already, the stoppage in play, which was already blown. So George Williams was very lackadaisical going for the ball. But nevertheless, I agree with you. That should have been play on.
Alex Wormsley has it for England now, 4 away from the halfway line. 2.5 to go in the first half. It's still 4-2. Short ball from Lytton, trying to find his teammate a way through the line, but they were unable to do so. Williams gets up and plays the ball 6 inside Australia's territory. They go left. The kick from Harry Smith is taken by Nwanganitawase, but there was an escort play there. Reece Walsh tried it a little bit earlier, and this time the referee was onto it. And England will get another penalty here, attacking Australia's line.
They'll take the 2.
Only about 10 away to level it up at 4-all with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, you'd think, but Brimson was taken out. There's no doubt about that. He was taken off the ball by Reece Walsh. Nwanganitawase took the ball well. You would think they'd try and level up just before half-time.
I love the way that Reece Walsh puts his hands up all innocently. It's the most clear escort of all time.
That was a clear escort there. Silly play there from Reece Walsh.
Well, he did try to do it earlier and didn't quite get in the way of the England player as well. So he's obviously been thinking about it. We're going to go to the break, locked at 4-all. England will be looking to level it up through Harry Smith. He's about 20 in from the eastern touchline. He's a decent goal kicker. He's Harry Smith. He's Wigan's first choice goal kicker.
Well, this is a sitter. I mean, there's no reason why he should be missing this, but pressure of a test match, 4-all. 1 minute out before half-time. It's been an amazing match, and Australia has shown a little bit of frustration. That penalty there, the forward pass up the other end from Harry Grant to Ruben Cotter.
Scored in the grand final, lost to Hull KR, and he does make no mistake. So with just under a minute to go in the first half, it is England and Australia locked at 4 apiece, with Australia and England locked at 0-all in that rugby test at Twickenham early in the first half. And it is a real arm wrestle. It's been an entertaining battle. 0467 920 222. I didn't set my alarm, but got you on now on the app and watching on TV. Great to hear. Says Phil in Mudgee. Glad you woke up, Phil. Appreciate that. And it's always good to hear from you on 0467 920 222. Here's Alex Wormsley. Takes it up over the 10-metre line from the restart. There's 7 seconds left. So there'll be one more play, you'd have to think, as he plays the ball standing up in the tackle, 13 away from the line. Australia once again on a short 10-metre there. The siren sounds. Koloamatangi was whacked in the face there. And England want to get up and play the ball after the siren's gone, but the referee, now they're coming in again for a bit of a push and shove. Grant Atkins is saying it's half-time, get away from each other, but Koloamatangi might just have the attention of the trainers in that England dressing room. AJ Brimson and Cam Munster just having a little friendly push and shove there, the former Queensland State of Origin teammates. But 4-all at half-time, no tries, 2 penalty goals apiece, Jonty, after, of course, we saw those sin binnings of Tino Fasuamala-Awi and Dom Young within the first 3 minutes. Yeah, well, this is a throwback, this game. This is a real old-fashioned arm wrestle, and we thought with Grant Atkins being a referee, we might have a different interpretation in terms of context of the rules, but he's, he's allowed most things to go on. He has given a couple of penalties for slow play the balls, but
the 10 metres is skinny, but despite that, I think England's handled things better there. Their performance has been really good. Their defence has been good. They just lack that finesse in attack. But Australia is not getting many opportunities, and they've become a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, really entertaining first half, end-to-end action in a way, because, you know, Australia camped on their own half for a lot of it, had a couple of opportunities late in that first half, but couldn't find a way to score. And England, you know, what I've loved is their physicality, right? That, you know, they're not going to match it with Australia with skill, but what they should be able to go with Australia is desire and want, and they've shown every bit of it.
And they're not come out with those missed tackles that they did have last week, which caused problems.
So England with 55% of the ball, completing at 84%, 85%, 17 of 20 sets. Australia only completing at 68%, 13 of 19 sets. England have made 669 metres from 88 runs. Australia have made 507 metres from 71 runs. England 1 line break to 0. That tells you how tight it is. Only 1 line break in the entire half. England 24 tackle breaks to Australia's 12. So that's something the Australians will have to work on in the second half in terms of defence. Australia 3 offloads to 0. And defensively, Australia has made 169 and missed 24 tackles. England tackling at almost 91%, 154 tackles. They've only missed 12, so they would be delighted with that in that defensive effort in the first half. Obviously, fatigue will be a factor in the second half as well. England are leading the penalty count 5-4. But, I suppose that fatigue factor will be really interesting to have a look at in the second half.
It will be. And, look, that tackling efficiency from England is very good. And as Michael said, the physicality. So they're in the face of the Australians, and they're causing issues. And it's not the complacency or anything like that. It's a good performance. It's a good, solid performance from England. They've just got to find a way to breach that defence of Australia, though, through their attack.
Tony from Tenterfield, really appreciate your text message. Don't necessarily agree with it, though. Sorry, gents, this is a substandard game played on a soccer ground. Really, the Australian NRL needs to have a good look at themselves agreeing to play a game on a soccer ground. Surely they're not serious. Well, Tony, every ground in England is a soccer ground, almost every ground in England, and they've been doing it since 1908. So that is not going to change. It is a brand new stadium. Granted, it is marginally smaller, but it certainly hasn't been a substandard game. It's played obviously under different conditions, different rules in terms of the Rugby Football League, but it has been an attritional test match. And the amount of kangaroo tours we've seen over years gone by, this is exactly what you expect when you play rugby league in the UK, particularly heading into winter in the Northern Hemisphere. First half, early in that first half, England and the Wallabies, no score at Twickenham. And at half-time at the Everton Stadium, it is 4-4. Nathan Cleary with 2 from 2, Harry Smith with 2 from 2. Dom Young and Tino Fa'asuamaleaui were both sin-binned within the first 2 minutes. It is half-time in the second Ashes test with Australia leading 1-0 in the series. It is England 4, Australia 4. Let's get the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with Andrew Kalupas. The Nationals are expected to settle their position on net zero at a party room meeting Sunday morning. It comes after the Nationals Federal Council voted on Saturday to abandon support for achieving net zero emissions. The motion that was passed by the Council retains support for emissions reductions, which it says should be balanced with growing and protecting key industries such as mining, agriculture and manufacturing. While the federal platform is not binding on the party room, MPs appear close to landing on a similar position. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says he wants to see more cooperation between the United States and China, following this week's APEC summit in South Korea. Donald Trump has described his meeting with Xi Jinping as a roaring success, saying he'll cut tariffs on China, while Beijing will allow more rare earth exports and resume buying American farm products. Mr. Albanese says the shift in tone is an important step forward, especially after years of rising competition.
It is in the world's interest for the world's 2 largest economies and powers to engage with each other constructively. what they do has an impact right around the world.
US Defence Secretary Peter Hegseth has urged Southeast Asian nations, including Australia, to stand firm and strengthen their maritime forces to counter China's increasing destabilising actions in the South China Sea. Here's Tim Morton.
Speaking at a meeting in Malaysia with his counterparts from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Mr Hegseth reiterated US concerns over what he called China's aggression in the disputed waters that have intensified in recent months. Beijing claims almost the entire region, while ASEAN members, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia and Brunei, also claim ownership of coastal areas and features. Mr Hegseth says China's provocative actions have challenged and threatened territorial sovereignty in the region. The US Defence Secretary has urged ASEAN members to speed up the development of a code of conduct that the bloc is negotiating with China to govern behaviour at sea.
After severe thunderstorms on Saturday, weather warnings for southern Queensland and northern New South Wales have now been cancelled. Here's Francis Dew.
While the warnings have ceased, Saturday's giant hail and flash flooding has left thousands of homes without power across southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. The storm swept across the Gold Coast, Brisbane, the Sunshine Coast and inland through the Burnett, with hail up to 9 centimetres wide reported, damaging cars and homes. 9 people were also injured. In New South Wales, the Northern Rivers, Mid-North Coast, North-West Slopes and Plains and Northern Tablelands forecast districts were also hit. The Bureau says severe weather warnings have now eased across both states, but residents are still being urged to monitor conditions and avoid floodwaters.
Families of victims killed when a railway station roof collapsed in Serbia a year ago have demanded accountability on the anniversary of the disaster. The BBC's Guy Delaunay reports.
People came from all over Serbia to Novi Sad station to remember those who died here. Relatives wept and the rest of the crowd stood in silence for 16 minutes, one for each of the victims. Student-led protesters blame endemic official corruption for the disaster. They say the authorities have failed to meet their demands for accountability and transparency, so now they're calling for fresh elections. President Alexander Vučić has generally taken a combative line with the protesters. He's accused them of attempting a colour revolution, but on the eve of the commemoration, he apologised for his conduct and called for peace and negotiations. The students responded dismissively. They told the president, "You have blood on your hands."
A man and a woman have been killed and at least 10 people have been injured in a shooting in a village on the Greek island of Crete in what police have described as a family vendetta. Greece's top law enforcement officials, including the head of the police force and the head of the unit fighting organised crime, have travelled to the island. Crete has a history of violent vendettas between families over disputes driven by revenge, damaged honour and perceived insults. At least 9 people have been killed and dozens have been injured during a stampede at a popular Hindu temple in southern India. The incident occurred at the temple in Andhra Pradesh state, where hundreds of devotees had gathered to mark one of the Hindu calendar's most sacred days, Ekadashi. ABC News.
The ABC Listen app has a fresh new look that makes it easier to find what you're looking for. Tap into the brand new Sport tab at the top of your home screen to find live coverage, podcasts, and never miss a moment with the ABC Sport schedule. Download and try it out today.
The 2025 Ashes Series.
England versus Australia.
They're coming from everywhere as well, push and shove. Litton's on the ground getting manhandled by Fasumala Awi. The England teammates aren't happy with the treatment that their hooker has just got, and it has kicked off early at the Everton Stadium. So Tino Fasumala Awi has got the yellow card. Dom Young has got the yellow card. So Nathan Cleary from right in front, moves in, makes no mistake. Australia leads 2-0, and the England fans aren't particularly happy with the outcome and probably the officiating of the Australian referee. Harry Smith, a regular goal kicker for England. He scored 9 from 10 on debut back in 2023. He scored a try as well. This is his 8th Test match for the Wigan halfback. 161 games for the club. He moves in, makes no mistake, and it is 2 points all with 8 minutes gone between Australia and England in the second Test. Cleary moves in, makes no mistake, 4 points to 2. Australia leading England via penalty goals all over the place. Scored in the grand final, lost to Hull KR, and he does make no mistake. So with just under a minute to go in the first half. It is England and Australia locked at 4 apiece.
The 2025 Ashes Series.
England versus Australia.
Welcome back to Everton Stadium for the second Ashes test between Australia and England. After Australia won the first test 26 points to 6, this is a real arm wrestle. It is locked at 4-4 at half-time. Penalty goals, 2 of them apiece. Harry Smith for England and Nathan Cleary for Australia. You would have heard there in those highlights, of course, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui and Dom Young both getting sent at the sin bin after a fracas in the first minute or the second minute of the test match. England have been up for the fight. They've had plenty of opportunities at Australia's end, but haven't been able to get the final cut through. They've looked dangerous with grubbers in behind the line through George Williams. Australia have only found themselves at England's goal line on a couple of occasions, and there's either been knock-ons or forward passes. They've let themselves down on a few occasions. Australia, their completion rate is pretty low, only 68%. So it'll be a fascinating second half at the Everton Stadium to see how it unfolds, whether fatigue plays a factor. We saw Australia run away with it in the second half in London at Wembley Stadium. Of course, the third test next week at 1:30 Eastern Daylight Time. That is from Headingley in Leeds. That game was sold out within about 10 minutes, and we know how passionate they are about their rugby league in Leeds. It is a true rugby league town. You are with Glenn Lauder, Michael Carianis and John Gibbs. 0467 920 222 is the text line if you want to get in touch. As Tony has done, he texted us just before halftime, but he has clarified that, agree, it's a soccer ground, but maybe I should have been more specific. Where are the line markings for the rugby league game, which you've mentioned in your commentary? Yeah, Tony, we agree with you there. The line marking is terrible, but I think the reality is the Everton Soccer Club or Football Club pay the bills, and they will be playing at home next week, and they will want to make sure that there are no rugby league markings. Unfortunately, I think that's probably the issue. So thank you for your text message. Michael Carianis, I'll get to you in just a moment, but John Gibbs, how do you see this second half playing out? What's the message from particularly Sean Wayne at half time?
Well, Sean Wayne, I think, would just be more of the same. I mean, he's got to come up with a way maybe they can score a try, and probably their best opportunity, as we saw in the first half, is through a kick. And, if you put a kick up and it's well placed, you get the opportunity to contest, you're a chance of scoring. But Australia, they hardly had any ball in the red zone, if you could find the red zone on this field of England. So when they were down there attacking, there was a beautiful 40-20 kick, and even that was problematic. You weren't sure, but it was such a beautiful kick. It was, went to the video ref who said, yep, no, fair enough. And it did look to be a 40-20, and it was. But from the second tackle, they came up with a bumble where the ball was thrown forward from Harry Grant to Reuben Cotter. That's frustration because that efficiency we spoke about, they mightn't be that efficient in attack, England, but their tackling has been enormous. They've hardly missed any.
Yeah, it's been a real intense opening 40 minutes. I think England probably have been the better of the two sides and should probably be leading at the half-time break. They just couldn't capitalise on all the opportunities they had. Australia did really well defensively, didn't do much with the ball. They had a couple of golden opportunities late in that first half. As Gibbsy mentioned, that 40-20 from Nathan Cleary was outstanding and probably the biggest point, the best point, attacking point for the Kangaroos in that opening half. But Harry Grant threw a forward pass out of dummy half and just got their timing wrong. So, Kangaroos would be confident by the fact that they've been able to repel England, but they've got to create some opportunities of their own.
So do you think you've obviously just spoken about the errors that Australia made in that first half, but they just really need to stick to their processes, get through the end of their sets, be patient, and just wear this England team down?
Yeah, I'm sure that Kevin Walters, part of the message would be, watch your ball handling and let's improve our completions, because when you complete, you're applying pressure. And there's been no pressure really being applied to England. They've been able to, turn back any attacking raid that Australia has. On a couple of occasions, they've thrown the ball a little bit wide. Reece Walsh has looked dangerous, like he's going to get through, but he just hasn't quite. So I think they'll be very confident. England going into the second half will be confident. And if fatigue is an issue, it will most likely be against the Australians because they've done most of the tackling.
in that rugby test at Twickenham. England lead 10-0 over the Wallabies, by the way. And good news, for the second week in a row, Tess and Cess have told me that I've put Baby back to sleep. So maybe what you could do, well, if this was 1990, what you could do is put a cassette tape in the old recorder and just record the second half and play it to Baby Beck whenever she's awake.
I might check if that works with my kids later.
On loop.
Well, I certainly put my kids to sleep quite often. That's in the middle of the day, though, unfortunately. They just tune out when I'm trying to tell them to do things. So we are just about underway in the second half with Australia and England locked at 4-4 in drizzly conditions in this second Ashes test at Everton Stadium. Australia is getting us underway in the second half, kicking towards the southern end, and it's good strong carry from Alex Walmsley, taking it up to the 20-metre line for England. Slow to play the ball. He's told to get back on his mark. He was trying to suggest that Katoni Staggs might have been interfering. Grant Atkins tells him to get on with it, and then Callum Watkins is met in a really strong hit in that second play with Reuben Cotter heavily involved alongside Pat Carrigan. They go one off the ruck, right-hand side. Morgan Knowles has the ball 30 away in centre field. Getting up slowly to play the ball, and they'll continue to the right through Litton and Williams, and on it goes to Kai Pearce-Paul. Gets away from Munster with a big fend, still going, and now brought down by Shibasaki and also Cotter. Just short of halfway. Good start to this second half for England. They have it through Herbie Farnworth, about 8 metres inside Australia's territory on the last. So they go to the left-hand side. The high kick up in the air. Chasing is Williams. He can't get there. Walsh does really well to take it under heavy pressure. And then Knowles comes a clean Reece Walsh up over the top. I reckon they've been talking about pressuring Reece Walsh this week after the test match he had in game one. It's been a much more cagey affair, and the Australian outside backs haven't had a chance to get any kind of open space this afternoon. Here's Josh Adokar. This afternoon, of course, England time. Adokar plays the ball 21 away from his line. One off the ruck. In the middle comes Keon Kolomatangi, who had a bit of a face injury right on half-time. He's shaken off any ill effects, and he plays the ball 27 away from his line in centre field. They'll continue to the right, and Pat Carrigan is wrapped up by a couple of English players, including Smith, about 12 short of halfway final play. So Munster will kick from right on that 40-metre line. It's almost a midfield bomb. He was kicking on the run. Oh, and then it's volleyed by Nathan Cleary. He thought he was playing for Everton there, going for a 25-yard first-timer, but it ends up with Tom Johnson, and he returns it about 12 metres away from his own goal line, getting up and playing the ball for Brimson as Dom Young takes it up towards a 15 away from his own goal line. 2 gone in the second half, 4-4 England, Australia.
Yeah, that could have been very dangerous. Tom Johnson was to wake up to it, though. It was almost a clever kick from Nathan Cleary. There's a good offload, so good ground made by the English. I've got to say, we were a little bit critical of him before the game, but Callum Watkins has had a very good game.
That offload from the two Queensland-based players from Farnworth to Brimson, and now Litton has the ball 3 short of halfway. He has the 34-year-old. As they go to the left, Alex Walmsley takes it inside Australia's territory by about 8 metres. It's the final play, so similar end to the set as their first in this second half. Harry Smith goes to the skies. Reece Walsh thinking about the escort again. Nwanganita has to wait for the bounce, goes backward, and I reckon Grant Atkins might have... No, he's saying the England kickers inside the 10. And Australia, well, in front of the kicker, and Australia will get the penalty 10 metres away from their own goal line with it 4-4 after 3 minutes in the second half, MC.
Yeah, strange that, as you mentioned, Reece Walsh was more concerned with, running a block than taking the ball, and the bomb was probably his to catch, and they got away with that one. It lands and almost hits him in the head, Reece Walsh, because he lost total sight of it because he turned his back to try and block the England attackers from coming through.
Yeah, the left side kick chasers looked okay, but it was the right side kick chasers coming through who were offside, so a good call from the officials. Now Reuben Cotter sort of stands and has to take the tackle 8 short of the halfway line. Centre field plays it for Harry Grant. Left-hand side to nobody. Cameron Munster picks it up on the bounce, and then Crichton subsequently ends up with the ball 9 short of the halfway line. So a clunky start to this second half for Australia as well. England have looked pretty good with the ball in their hand. What do they look like defensively as Munster gets it out the back for Cleary? He passes to ground. Nwanganita picks it up on the bounce. Has a bit of space to graze in, but he throws the pass straight to Callum Watkins. Australia continuing to shoot themselves in the foot. Australia win the ball. England win the ball back. There's 4 gone in the second half, and it's still 4-all.
Well, that was frustration because he did a good job and he didn't have to throw the ball. It was like a bit like the flick pass he threw in the first half that didn't need to be thrown. That was an opportunity that's lost by England.
Yeah, Walmsley has lost the ball. Alex Walmsley is saying that Cam Munster has knocked it out. They might continue challenging this, do they? At the moment, it's an Australia ball inside England's territory.
It's 1-on-1 if anything anyway.
I don't think Munster's making a play at the ball. Yeah, he's saying it's 1-on-1 if anything. He's right, but if he's knocked it forward, but I don't think Cam Munster's making a play at the ball.
Loose carry by England, so Alex Walmsley has given an opportunity to Australia, so about 38 metres out, right in the middle of the park. This is good field position to start a set.
Yeah, and I completely agree that that's a loose carry. Cam Munster's not playing at the ball. He's not trying to force a one-on-one strip, so Australia get the scrum. 32 away from England's line, still 4-all, 5 gone second half, and they go to the right-hand side. They'll have it 26 away as Reece Walsh gets up and plays it for Harry Grant at dummy half. A bit of push and shove there from Walsh and Morgan Smithies as Cleary back on the inside, gets it away to Kalua-Matangi. He goes on his back, 20 away from the line. Gets up and plays it for Grant, left-hand side for Cleary, gets it away Pat Carrigan, thinks about an offload, takes the tackle of 3 England players, including Williams and also Kai Pearce-Paul. They're 10 away from the line, 20 in from the eastern touchline. Grant comes open side right for Cleary. Short, fast ball for Walsh, and Reece Walsh has to take the tackle 10 away from the line in centre field. Slow to get up and play the ball. Maybe a hint of a crusher, but not really much doing. Grant changes direction. Kalua-Matangi back towards the ruck. Gets the offload away to Walsh. Walsh wasn't quite ready, but he held on to it. Gets it away to Cleary. Now goes left-hand side for Hudson Young, and Hudson Young is brought to ground by Alex Walmsley just as the Australians started looking a little dangerous there. Young will play it 8 away from the line. Grant's at dummy half. Long ball for Munster. Back on the inside. Ruben Cotter bounces off Knowles, but there were 3 other England players there to wrap him up. 3 short of the line. Play 5. They go left from Grant at dummy half. Munster, short ball. Crichton loses it forward. England dive on it through Farnworth. And once again, it's an opportunity lost for the Australians on the final play as they were trying to shift it left and find a way over the line. And the England fans are delighted. 6.5 gone in the second half. Still England 4, Australia 4.
Yeah, their defensive line speed has been excellent, England. It might be a skinny 10, but notwithstanding, they have really been committed and they're showing plenty of passion in the English jersey and frustration there. Angus Crichton going for a desperate offload that really was never on.
Yeah, last play, he kind of had to come up with something to try to get Reece Walsh over the line there, didn't he? As they go to the left-hand side here, England numbers with Williams gets the pass out the back and Johnson goes without it. They were running out of space on that left-hand side anyway, and Williams was almost pushing Johnson into a little bit of a no-hope territory there because he only had about a metre or 2 to work in near that western touchline, but the pass wasn't a great one anyway, so Australia do get the ball back in pretty good attacking territory here, 25 away from England's line with a 4-all scoreline, still 7 gone in the second half, MC.
Yeah, dangerous signs here for England now, 2 sets where they failed to complete to start this second half, and Australia, whilst their attack hasn't been great, you keep giving them opportunities like this, they're going to find a way to hurt you.
So they go to the left through Crichton, 29 away from the line. Still only play 1, a full set here. Grant's at dummy half, right for Carrigan. 1 off the ruck, he goes. Settling plays here for Australia. Looking to break the deadlock. 4-all, 2 penalty goals. 20 away from England's line. Cleary first receiver back on the inside, changing direction for Cotter. Ruben Cotter is 15 away from the line, centre field after the tackle of Smithies. Left out of dummy half goes Grant. Cleary, Munster, dummies, goes himself. Still going Cam Munster, he might go all the way, he does. Cameron Munster scores the try. He slides over the line. The referee will check for a double movement, but this looks like momentum, and I think Australia might have the first try. Grant Atkins agrees, but he's going to the video referee. They're just making sure there's no obstructions, but Cam Munster, dummies, goes himself, and this will be Australia 8, England 4 with a kick to come, 8 gone second half.
I think he's thrown over the goal line by an English defender, so he threw on the inside. There's a hit of obstruction. I don't know. It was missed there, and then he was flung around, and his momentum gets him there. So if there's no obstruction, and I don't think there is, I don't think it was, of any consequence. I think it'll be a superb individual try.
Yeah, it was a great bit of work from Munster. Showed the ball a couple of times, and the options that Australia had. There was multiple runners there. 3 ball runners actually in play, which created the indecision in the English defensive line. So nice bit of structure there for the Kangaroos, and Munster just slides across the line.
Let's go up to Jack Smith.
Ball carrying on. Just go back from this, please.
Hey, Jack, he's
So they're looking...
Yeah.
He was always going to get there, in my opinion.
So Grant Atkins is giving Jack Smith a leg up here. He can't do that.
He doesn't really have that great a trust in the video referee.
Telling you, I've never heard that before.
No.
He's on the ground, but this is always momentum here, so we're going to finish on full speed, please. The same angle, but full speed.
The ball carrying arm, his hand touches it under the ball, but
he can't stop. He's moving. It's all in the one motion.
The video referee's agreeing.
He's thrown over the line by George Williams. He's agreeing after he got some coaching by Grant Atkins.
Yeah. So the try has been confirmed.
And it should be a try.
Yeah, and it is, which is good news. Cameron Munster scores the try, the first of this second test, and it means that it is 8 points to 4, with Nathan Cleary given the opportunity to score the conversion from about 2 in from the eastern touchline. It's Cameron Munster's 5th try in Australian colours. He scored a double on debut against France back in 2017. And Cleary from the touchline, he hits the crossbar. He doesn't quite have the distance, so it remains 8 points to 4. Cameron Munster with 2 assists in the first test, gets one to his name. And Cleary, geez, I've never seen that, or haven't seen that very often from Nathan Cleary, not getting the distance on it to bounce off the crossbar. 8 points to 4, 9 gone second half.
Yeah, an unusual one. Just going back to that try by Cameron Munster, it was George Williams. He should have made the tackle. And it was George Williams, of course, who gave the opportunity to the Australians by giving an ordinary ball to Tom Johnson on the other side of the field. But some fumbling and bumbling gave plenty of field position to the Australians, and through a good individual effort by Munster, they've taken advantage.
So 10 gone in second half, or just under. Australia coming away from their own goal line through Angus Crichton. Second play, first set after points. The try for Cameron Munster, breaking the deadlock. Will it break England's backs, or will they continue to muscle up? Good tackle from Watkins on Ruben Cotter. 20 away from Australia's goal line. They come to the right. Now an opportunity for Australia to control the arm wrestle. Hold on to the ball. Hudson Young has it, 30 away from his line. Harry Grant's at dummy half. Left-hand side he goes for Keon Kalamatangi. And Kalamatangi on his back, just short of the halfway line in centre field. Gets up and plays it for Grant again. Cleary will look for another 40-20. This one's definitely inside 40, but it doesn't have the angle. And Johnson can take it 15 away from his own goal line, return it towards Tom Dearden on the park for the Kangaroos, and he does some defending alongside Katoni Staggs on Johnson, bringing him down around 25 away from the line. As they go open side right for Wardle. Jake Wardle's been pretty quiet tonight, but he has a hit up there and he's brought to ground. 27 away, 8-4 Australia, 10 gone second half.
And Dearden will give us some spark, but he is playing in the middle. He's come on as a replacement for Patrick Carrigan.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? With the Australian players on the bench, obviously the rotation. Lindsay Smith is still yet to come on as well. And England have it through one of their bench players of their own. Mikolaj Oledzki plays the ball just short of halfway. They go right through Knowles. Williams gets it away to Brimson. On it goes to Farnworth. Decent play out the back right-hand side. Offload to Brimson. So AJ is going to get wrapped up in a tackle. 10 inside Australia's territory. Good link-up play there from Farnworth and Brimson on the right-hand side. It's the final play. The pass out of dummy half to Smith wasn't a good one, so he had to kick off the back foot. It's knocked backwards off Kai Pearce-Paul, then picked up by Cameron Munster for Australia. It will be play 1, 25 away from Australia's goal line, and unfortunately for England, they just couldn't get that good pass out of dummy half to set Smith up for a decent kick. And Josh Adokar will play it for Australia, 31 away from his own goal line with 11 and a half to go in the second half. Australia leading 8 points to 4, 2 penalty goals apiece in the first half, and Cameron Munster's try is the only thing that separates them in the second. They go right through Hudson Young. He bounces off a couple, gets an offload away to Harry Grant. Now Dearden plays it left-hand side. Angus Crichton had to reach out for it, low to the ground. Does pretty well to catch it on the run and then takes the tackle and plays it on halfway. Harry Grant comes out of dummy half, runs out of room, throws. It's got to be a forward pass to Ruben Cotter there, surely. The fans are blowing up. He's called a couple already, Grant Atkins. He's not calling that one. So they're 10 inside England's territory. They go left. Munster gets it away to Crichton. He's been in a good tackle, 29 away from England's line. Kai Pearce-Paul gets up. Their final play for Australia, and Nathan Cleary will kick on the 30-metre line. It's over the top, and it's knocked forward by England, picked up by Hudson Young. He'll score the try. Well, this could be floodgates opening in the second half for Australia. The kick over the top from Cleary. England couldn't handle it. Hudson Young picks up the crumbs, goes over and scores the try. He gets his first in the green and gold, and it's 12 points to 4 with a kick to come, 12 and a half gone second half.
Well, it's a good kick from Nathan Cleary, and that was contested. They went up for the ball, England, and really they didn't look like they were going to take the ball, and Grant Atkins immediately ruled play on. It went to Hudson Young, and that close to the line, it was never going to be stopped. So they'll just have to check everyone's on side, which they are. Cleary, the diagonal kick across field, and blokes are looking to go blockers more than anything, but it's hit back by the Australians. Was it Katoni Staggs who got the ball back, and it went straight into the arms of Hudson Young, who's over for a try. But some of them, Tom Johnson never really looked like getting at that ball, and it was a good bat back though from Katoni Staggs, and Hudson Young, as he is never far away from scoring a try.
Yeah, he's been in everything today, Hudson Young, hasn't he? He's in the thick of things in the first half when, the two sides sort of came ahead. But this has been the problem for England in the second half. Their discipline's all out the door. Their intent's not there defensively. And, failing to complete multiple sets now in this second half. And the Kangaroos are always going to make them pay.
So Nathan Cleary, 2 from 3 this afternoon. That's the 2 penalty goals. He's missed the conversion so far from Cameron Munster. This one's on the other side of the field. That one was from the left-hand side, and this one's from the right. He's about 8 or 10 metres in from this western touchline and steadying himself, making sure he's got the distance on it as well after not quite having the distance for that first one. Moves in, and this time he's on target, Nathan Cleary. So 14 points to 4, Australia leading England with 2 tries inside the first 14 minutes of this second half through Cameron Munster and Hudson Young. 2 tries in just 4 minutes, which has really hurt England. They have been gallant for a huge part of this test match, but you're right, it was outstanding work from Katoni Staggs to leap the highest and bat the ball backwards, but Tom Johnson would be really disappointed with his attempt at trying to take that catch. So it's a deep kick-off from England, taken right on the goal line by Cameron Munster, and he sends Koloamatangi on his way. Koloamatangi is brought to ground 8 away from the goal line. He gets up and plays it as Grant comes out of dummy half, and he goes right for Angus Crichton. Crichton is tackled by Watkins and one other, and they continue to the right here through Ruben Cotter. Cotter gets towards, tries to get his back to the defenders, and then takes the tackle about 27 away, centre field. They come back left. Dearden's at first receiver. Now Munster gets it away to Crichton, and they're starting to make some ground here, the Australians. Crichton will play at 10 short of halfway. Grant, another flat pass out of dummy half for Munster. Munster looks for support, doesn't have any, so Cameron Munster has to take the tackle on the halfway line. He's on his back, so he's slow to get to his feet. And they come to the right on the final play for Cleary to kick from halfway. He gets it away under heavy pressure, and then it's taken really well by AJ Brimson. I thought Nwanganita-Waze might have just about picked his pocket there. That's a really good take from AJ Brimson. And England will start this set. It might have been touched by Nwanganita-Waze as well, actually, because that was play 0. And Williams will take the tackle still on his own 10-metre line. So this is going to be hard work for England to get away from their own end. It is 14-4 Australia leading England. We've had 15 minutes of play in the second half. They come left, one off the ruck now. This is a strong run as well, but there's 3 Australian players there to bring Mike McMeekin back on the ground, back on the field after a breather. And he plays it for Lytton to go left-hand side, one off the ruck. And on the next carry, Oledzki will take it up over the 30. He's 35 away from England's own goal line and kicking from just inside 40 on the 4th play. But it's straight down the field, and Reece Walsh lets it bounce a couple of times, and then Josh Adokar will return it up over the 30, where it's Australia 14, England 4, 16 gone second half.
Well, they are Kangaroos, but they've certainly got the spring in their step now, and England, without stating the bleeding obvious, if they don't score next, this is going to be not good, because they're incapable of scoring 2 or 3 tries. So if they can get one, maybe they can get another. But if they're 3 tries behind, they won't be getting out of this.
Angus Crichton skips away from a couple as he goes from the left to the right, and then he's blowing up at the touch judge. He thought that there was illegal contact there. He also isn't happy with his teammates that there was no support, but he's more interested in the whack across the faces. Cleary goes for another 40-20. I reckon he's got another one as well. Cleary from inside 40. He's saying play the ball. Is it an England play the ball or an Australia play the ball? Kevin Walters isn't sure either, and it is another
England.
No, it's an England ball. Oh, it's about 23 away from the goal line.
It's impossible to tell with these markings.
That's what happens to the lines.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That makes it difficult.
Well, even Kevin Walters didn't know.
No, well, even Nathan Cleary didn't know.
And now Aletsky's being told to get back on the mark. He's having a bit of a push and shove with Hudson Young, and Callum Watkins goes on a run back into traffic. He's brought to ground 37 away in centre field. 14-4, Australia lead England. They go to the right, the home side, through the hands of Williams and Kai Pearce-Paul. Goes down to one knee, but gets back up, goes again, and then Crichton wraps him up over the top 3 short of halfway. Lytton shows out at dummy half. Then on the next attempt, goes left. Harry Smith is met in a one-on-one tackle by Nathan Cleary, and then coming over the top to help out is Harry Grant. They play the ball. Lytton goes left one off the ruck again. McMeekin takes it up towards the halfway line. Australia starting to muscle up in defence as well. That was a really good one-on-one tackle by Nathan Cleary on his opposite number as England kick downfield on the final play. Taken by Nwanganaitawase, 10 away from his own goal line, and Australia will start this set 20 away in centre field. 18 and a half gone in the second half. It is Australia 14, England 4. Thanks, Gibbsy. Appreciate that.
Oh, well, I thought,
around the ground.
I thought MC was coming in there.
Around the grounds, there's been some magic at Twickenham, some wizardry from the Wallabies. Harry Potter has scored a try, and it is 10-7. Australia have the ball.
I thought it was English.
Were you having a nap?
John, no, I was watching the game. I thought you were coming in.
Tom Dearden plays it 10 inside England's territory, right-hand side. Hudson Young, I should give you guys better instructions, I beg your pardon. Hudson Young as about 30 away from England's line on his back, getting up slowly to play the ball. Push and shove again. He's got a bee in his bonnet today, Hudson Young. This time it's him and
today.
He's always got a bee in his bonnet. Luckily, Reece Walsh is on his team this time. They kick to the air. Nwanganaitawase takes it with his hands over his head. Goes to Staggs on the outside, but he loses the ball. And then Jez Lytton is dragged into touch. But the referee is going to say that this was the second tackle from Nwanganaitawase to drag him over the touchline.
Well, you could hear the call of hell quite plainly. So I don't know what Nwanganaitawase was doing on that occasion, but he did a great job to take the ball. He then flicked it out the back to Katoni Staggs, who kicked on the infield, and then it ricocheted off a couple of players. It was like a pinball, and he was held. And then he was dragged out in the touch. He must be deaf.
It's probably the worst game I've seen Nwanganaitawase play.
Yeah.
He's had a poor...
Well, he did some great things in that little passage play. Then
like it was a great leap and offload, but he's had a few handling errors, and then that penalty it was always going to be a penalty. There was no other option there for referee Grant Atkins.
Correct. There's a few bad decisions that he's made, isn't it? As they go to the right, McMeekin gets it away now, and they'll have the ball through Aletsky.
We might be worried about that knee that is heavily strapped, as you mentioned, so I don't normally see strapping on him, but I don't know how that affects his brain.
You're the one saying it.
Well,
maybe
I'm just posing the question, MC.
Maybe the other thing is, back in the old days when they used to ask for the race results on the radio, maybe he's wondering how the Wallabies are going as well down the road at Twickenham as they have the ball right-hand side through Williams. Back on the inside for Brimson, looking for a way through. The old goose step from AJ Brimson, and then he takes the tackle in centre field, quickly gets up and plays the ball. Lytton's at dummy half, left-hand side, Harry Smith will kick changing direction back towards the centre. Chasers are coming through. Reece Walsh is taken in the air by Farnworth, and this will be an England penalty at 10 away, Australia penalty, I beg your pardon, 10 away from their own goal line, the former teammates in Brisbane, and this is a clear-cut tackle in mid-air after Reece Walsh was trying to attempt to take the catch, which he did comfortably.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Herbie Farnworth. There might have been an English player taken out before that, but that was always going to be a penalty as well. So Herbie Farnworth there showing no discipline whatsoever because Reece Walsh was in the air and he was hit. They need to take every opportunity. They're running out of time, 19 minutes to go, and they're trailing by 10, and they haven't looked as if they could score.
Yeah, less than a quarter of the game to go. Penalties are 6 apiece. Australia take the tap 30 away from their own goal line. They go left. Fasumala Awi is back on the park now for the Kangaroos. He's on his back as he gets up and plays the ball for Harry Grant. Wonder if they'll be teammates in a future Melbourne Storm team, with obviously Tino, one of the big names, hitting the open market today, the 1st of November. Right-hand side, well, it was yesterday, I guess. Today's the 2nd in Australia. Now, it's still the 1st of November in England as they get up and play the ball 5 inside England's territory through Young. Left-hand side, Dearden gets it away to Munster. Short for Crichton. He loses the ball. He tried to force the pass, but he knocked the ball on, and Australia will give it up again. It's an England scrum feed, 10 short of the halfway line. And Grant Atkins is just warning the England players to keep air cool as well. There's plenty of frustration. But the Australians, they lead by 10 points, but they could have been a lot more. They've been their own worst enemies, Gibbsy.
No doubt about that. But that pass there put Angus Crichton under a lot of pressure, and he's fumbled it. He's had a good game against Munster. He's been very, very busy. They've had quite a few good players. I think Callum Watkins, and I mentioned him at the start of the half, he's done a really good job. This is them going wide. They've got to do that. England, to get out of this, have got to be a little bit more expansive.
Yeah, they've got 17 minutes to try to find a way back in this one. They trail by 10. They have it through Tom Johnson, 2 metres inside Australia's territory on play 2, centre field. Litton's at dummy half. He goes one off the ruck right-hand side, McMeekin, and McMeekin is 10 inside Australia's territory. That's a good tackle from Koloamatangi to push him backwards, slow the momentum. They get 6 again, though. Koloamatangi didn't need to make that second play. He'd already made the good tackle to slow the England players down, and he kept going with McMeekin. So they get a full set, and now Matty Lees loses the ball on play 1, and he won't give it up for Hudson Young.
Told to go back and play it.
To go back and play the ball. Yeah, Hudson Young thought he'd lost it, and he was trying to get the ball off him, but the referee was just saying get back on the mark, so they continue on. Morgan Smithies, centre field, 23 away from the line. Litton goes himself. He goes underneath Tino Fa'asuamaleaui. Gets the ball away. They're trying to find a way through. McMeekin will just take the tackle, slow things down, push and shove again with Munster. Geez, this has been a really fiery Ashes test. Left-hand side, Williams, they might have numbers. Wardle comes back into the middle in traffic, and Wardle goes to ground, 7 away from the goal line as England try to find a way back in this one, trailing 14-4, 16 to go. The England fans think the Aussies are offside. Grant Atkins agrees. England get a penalty a metre away from the goal line. Morgan Smithies and Hudson Young, the Raiders teammates, have a bit of a push and shove, and now they're going to go for it as well. There's a bit of a smile on their faces. That was like Danny Moore and Terry Hill in State of Origin, the Manly team.
Isn't that Las Vegas?
Yeah, it was like
isn't
Las
that
Vegas.
in the lift with the cricket bats, the inflatable baseball bats?
Isn't it a set restart, though, not a penalty?
He's blown the penalty.
Yeah, but it's a penalty because he that's up to the referee. He can give a penalty.
And a metre away from the line as well. Matty Lees plays it 1 metre away, underneath the sticks at the northern end. Ball back on the inside from Smith to Kai Pearce-Paul, and Pearce-Paul is 3 away from the goal line. Dearden doing some defending with Cotter, the Cowboys teammates. They come left. Smith at first receiver. Williams at second. Left-hand side, Brimson gets it away to Tom Johnson. Has to come back away from the touchline and takes the tackle away, 8 away from the line. The Australians hanging on here. Cleary defending on that occasion. Wardle's at dummy half. A wide first receiver is Brimson. Then Williams gets it back on the inside for Matty Lees, and he's 10 away from the goal line. Centre field, there's 15 to go. England trail by 10. They need to score here, you'd have to think, to keep it alive. They go right. The series is on the line. George Williams kicks towards the corner. Dom Young goes up. He can't control it. That is really good defending from the Australians, but was Dom Young tackled in the air. They're on again here. Shibasaki is involved. Cameron Munster comes in. Kai Pearce-Paul. Morgan Smithies is there as well. Cam Munster's got a big smile on his face, so too does Smithies.
Dom Young is taking it, Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh is taking Dom Young. Dom Young was in the air, and through the air came Walsh.
Is this a penalty try?
I don't think it'll be a penalty try, but it was bad.
Josh Adokar gets a touch on it first. This will still be a penalty. Definitely not a penalty try. Let's have a listen to Jack Smith. Grant Atkins, you can hear. And then Shibasaki not happy with...
Walsh took Dom Young out.
Yeah, I'd love to see that contact again, because I think he leads with his shoulder.
Tackle 4, no try on field. We need to pause it on the foot, please. Have you got the wide angle, please, for it?
Well, they're all offside. You can see not even that. They don't need the wide angle to tell that Tom Young is onside. Shibasaki gives...
On foot, right. They're all onside to the right, so we need something close in on collision.
Yeah, Reece Walsh comes from a mile away and just collides with Tom Young in midair. I think he does leave with the shoulder himself.
It's not a penalty try, but it could be a sin bin.
Backwards off that old car. Is this contact here? Right.
Contact to the head. Shoulder to the head.
Looking into it as well.
I'd be comfortable if Reece Walsh gets sin bin here.
Yeah.
I think he will.
He has to.
It straight away looked ordinary. Dom Young was going for the ball. It was
shoulder to the head.
In the air. We've got the front hand angle again to see where he makes contact.
Yeah. I think Jack Smith saw the front on and he wants to see it again.
I've got the penalty on field against
Jack's almost telling Grant Atkins to shut up now.
Oh. Anymore. Let's just see on the same angle, please.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it might be more here.
Grant Atkins is refereeing it.
He jumps into this and there is no intent to wrap. Can we go on the other angle, please, from behind to check where it hits him?
He always has eyes for the man only on the way across also.
He jumps into the man.
Let him do his job.
coaching. But he does. He's right. What Grant's saying is right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I think Jack's across it this time.
Yeah, Jack's going to get to that. He's going to go to the bin.
All right, let's go.
There's also secondary contact with the head as it comes forward, so this will be a sin bin against Reece Walsh. Thank you, I've made my decision.
Yeah. So this will be an England penalty, a metre away from the goal line, against 12 men. 14 and a half to go.
They wouldn't have scored. He didn't have to do that. I mean, it was a desperate situation. He wasn't to know that he was going full pelt.
The fans are telling Reece to take a walk. He's still arguing the point. He's got to get off the field so they can continue on this game.
The ball had already been knocked out by Josh Addo-Carr. So it had already gone into touch. So there was no thought to the penalty try. But I was watching Reece Walsh. He was coming across at 1,000,000 miles an hour and straight into the air. And as Grant Atkins instructed Jack Smith, he only had eyes for the player.
So Reece Walsh will only be back on for, 4.5 minutes at the end of this test match. And this gives England a numerical advantage. The third sin binning of this test match as well, by the way. They come to the left now. 14 to go. 13 on 12. The Ashes on the line for England. Mike McKeegan is 9 away from the line. He'll get up and play the ball after the tackle of Dearden and one other. They get 6 again. They come right. Lytton out of dummy half, goes short. Matty Lees. He's 1.5 metres away from the goal line, adjacent to the right-hand upright. He'll play the ball. Lytton goes himself out of dummy half. Lindsay Smith is on the park. He comes across to tackle along with Fasumala Awi. Still 1 metre away from the line. Smithies is at dummy half. Left for Smith. Gets it away to George Williams. Tries to step back off the left, but he runs into traffic again. Nathan Cleary and Hudson Young are there to do the defending. So he'll get up and play the ball 10 away from the goal line. Wardle at dummy half. Long ball right. Smithies is at first receiver. Good short ball for McMeekin. Almost finds a way through, but the Australians find a way to bring him down. 1 metre away from the line. Lytton goes wide. Harry Smith, they cut out pass. Farnworth almost loses the ball, but he hangs onto it. Now he scoots away from Shibasaki. Gets it away to Lees. They're throwing the ball away on the left-hand side here, England. It's a flick pass from Callum Watkins. Ends up with AJ Brimson. And he's 17 away from the line in centre field. 13 to go. Final play for England. Harry Smith comes left. Williams, this is their chance. Johnson was too close to the touchline. Tries to flick it back on the inside, but he goes over the touchline. And Australia will get the ball back. They lead 14 points to 4. There's 12.5 minutes to go.
It's 13 on 12, and that's England having 13 players, just like Australia's got 15 players out there. They're like playing at Twickenham down the road, because that was terrible, really. That was just pass and hope there from the English. And let's give credit, though, to the Australians, only playing with 12 men. They've been under the pump, and they have handled it with aplomb.
They play the ball and they come left, coming away from their own end. They just have to put the ball under the jumper here now, don't they? Get to the end of their sets and grind this one out for the last 12 minutes or so. Mark Nwangani-Tawaze has it 20 away from Australia's goal line. He plays the ball and they come left, one off the ruck, as Australia have the ball in centre field, 35 metres away. And a 10-point lead Grant at dummy half. Dearden, left-hand side for Munster, and now Angus Crichton. Crichton bounces away from Farnworth, but Kai Pearce-Paul is able to hold on to him, and they put him down 15 short of halfway. Getting up slowly to play the ball, Harry Grant waits at dummy half. And now here's Lindsay Smith. Gets away from his first man, but he can't get away from the next. He's 3 short of the halfway line. Final play for Australia. Cleary will kick from just inside his own half. Looking for touch on that far side, but it goes straight down the throat of Tom Johnson. He returns it back into the middle of the park, where he's met by Lindsay Smith and also Tom Dearden, taking the tackle. 20 away from his own goal line with 11 and a half to go in the second half. Australia leading 14 points to 4.
Yeah, Cam Munster's playing fullback at the moment with Reece Walsh, Simbin. They've got Tom Dearden still on the field, so he's playing in the halves.
Here's Mike McMeekin coming up over the 40-metre line. He's 9 short of the halfway line. Scooting out of dummy half. First touch of the football for Mikey Lewis, starting in the number 14 jersey today. Left-hand side come England. They change direction for Callum Watkins. Flick pass out the back for Lewis. Tries to get through a hole, a fresh pair of legs, but he's 31 away from Australia's line. Gets the quick play the ball, final play. Left-hand side, Harry Smith spins it to Johnston. They're trying to come up with something here. He's one-on-one with Katoni Staggs. Staggs comes up big though and puts him over to the touchline one-on-one. Good defending from Katoni Staggs. Australia get the ball back 13 away from their own goal line. There's 10 and a half to go, and it's still Australia 14, England 4.
Australia's defence has been excellent because they keep running out of space. Tom Johnson has been pinned in so often, and Katoni Staggs did a really good job. Then they threw it back on the inside, but he'd already gone out. They really haven't shown any attacking expertise whatsoever, England, and that is a real issue because Australia's defence, we know how good it can be, and particularly under pressure is standing up.
Well, we talk about smaller fields, and it's shorter, but it's not narrower. And it seems like England are the team that are struggling with the width of the field when, you know, they are used to playing on smaller fields.
And they're only playing 12 men as well.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. Still 5 minutes 40 left for Reece Walsh in the sin bin, as Dearden will play the ball just short of the halfway line in centre field. And Grant's at dummy half. Left-hand side, one off the ruck is Fasumala Awi. He finds himself 3 inside England's territory centre field. Grant's still waiting at dummy half. There's 9 and a half to go. Comes out at dummy half and comes right for Munster. Gets it away to Cleary. Nathan Cleary's through. He's got numbers on his left and right. Decides to go right to Hudson Young. But the England defence come across and scramble. They're only a metre away from the goal line. Young gets up and plays the ball for Grant. Surely they'll score here. No, they lose the ball. Fasumala Awi was running onto it at speed. They're going to have a look at this because Munster falls over the line and puts it over the stripe. But this will be a knock-on from Tino Fasumala Awi. And they're going to have a look to see if Fasumala Awi might have been tackled without the ball, Gibsy.
Yeah, it was a close run thing, and that's what the Australians were protesting straight away. But no, that's fair enough. It's just a knock-on there. And it was a great break. I think Nathan Cleary erred in giving the ball to Hudson Young. I think he might have had some faster options.
Stay on this same angle, please.
Well, I don't know why they need to look any further.
He's lost the ball, and he wasn't tackled on suspicion.
Direction of the ball, Zeno.
Exactly, Jack. Well done. Let's get on with it.
Slow on this, please. Slow when he touches it. Malawi touches the ball there.
To knock on. Has he ever heard of Jack be nimble, Jack be quick?
Go on the same angle, please, because you can see on
Can Grant just tell him it's a knock on and we can
still looking at it?
Go on now.
Live decision's got on.
There we go. Grant's told him his decision. There we go.
Jack Smith has already said that it's touched Fasumala Awi.
And there's insufficient evidence to overrule the live decision of no try in terms of direction. Thank you, I've made my decision.
No, you haven't. You've said there's insufficient evidence. It's a knock-on. England get the ball. There's 9 minutes and 11 seconds to go.
This interaction actually between the video referee and the referee today has been fascinating.
Yeah.
Bless you, Michael.
Thank you, sorry.
Hay fever at 3:17 a.m. is
allergic to Jonty at this hour.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh, Morgan Knowles loses the ball coming away from their own end. England are trying to come up with something here, but it means Australia can attack the line again. Lindsay Smith, see how long they can keep the ball in play here. He gets up and he'll play the ball in centre field, 15 away from the line. Coming back right-hand side, here's Fasumala Awi. Takes it up over the 10-metre line. He's 8 short of the goal line in centre field. There's 8.5 to go, and Reece Walsh has 4.5 to go. Left-hand side, Dearden dummies, goes himself. Can't find a way through. There's 3 England players there to wrap him up. He'll get up slowly and play the ball for Harry Grant. Dummies goes himself. Harry Grant towards the line, held up. 3 England players hold him up, so he'll head back towards the 10-metre line and play it on play 3. 10-point lead, Australia 14, England 4, with just over 8 minutes to go.
Well, they won't be getting out of this, so this is going to be 14 Ashes successes to Australia in a row. So that's pretty impressive. We've got to go back to 1970. I think it's the 400th game between Great Britain / England and Australia as well.
As Australia have the ball going to the right-hand side through Cameron Munster. He will get up slowly and play this ball as Grant waits at dummy half. Left for Cleary. Gets it away to Fasumala Awi. Dearden. Long ball over the top with a flying fox coming for it. But the England defence wrapped Josh Adokar up a metre away from the line on play 5. Dearden's at first receiver. He'll grab it towards the in goal, but it's well picked up by Tom Smithies. And Morgan Smithies, I beg your pardon. Tom Smithies is a journalist. Morgan Smithies plays the ball. A former colleague of yours, I think. Yeah, and now England get the penalty on their own 10-metre line. There was
he used to report on the round ball game.
He did, yeah, at Everton, yeah. There was a flop there. Grant Atkins is saying, off you go, off you go. They take kick for touch, and they find it about 15 short of the halfway line. With 7 minutes to go, Australia still have 3 minutes with 12 men, but it hasn't really made much difference, has it? Reece Walsh is in the sin bin, but England haven't been able to make anywhere near in terms of the numerical advantage.
No, and Australia's attack's been good.
Yeah, it has been, particularly in the last 8 minutes, as England have the ball about 5 inside Australia's territory. They go right. They have it through Smith. On it goes for Farnworth. Tries to find a way through, and Herbie Farnworth will get up and play the ball 25 metres away from Australia's line. They come back left, keeping it alive now through their hands. Smithies gets it away to Williams. On they go for Brimson. Now it gets away to Wardle, and Wardle is 15 away from Australia's goal line. He'll get up quickly and play the ball. They'll come back right. Watkins is at dummy half. Waiting for it is Williams at first receiver. Flat ball for Morgan Knowles. He's 8 away from the goal line in centre field, and Mikey Lewis is waiting for it at dummy half. Final play. Williams first receiver. They throw it through their hands. Harry Smith to Farnworth. He's pushed it over the touchline really simply by Josh Adokar, and Australia will get the ball with just under 6 minutes to go and a 10-point lead. You're right, Gibbsy. This is the Ashes. Australia will go 2 up in the series. They lead 14 points to 4.
Too good. Their defence has been excellent. They didn't handle the ball handling that well in the first half. Their completions were poor, and the defence from England in the first half was excellent. They've tried hard, but they just don't have the finesse. They don't have the attacking prowess to be able to cause any problems for a really well-regimented defence like Australia's.
And Australia play the ball 15 away from their own goal line. Ruben Cotter is 20 away now with 5 minutes to go. And Cotter gets up and plays the ball. A minute left for Reece Walsh to rejoin the action. Staggs gets it away with the offload, and Harry Grant tries to find a way through. He's 10 short of halfway centre field. Reece Walsh is just waiting to get back onto the park for this last 5 minutes or so of action. It'll be about 4:20 by the time... Oh, I'm hungry now. As he gets up and plays the ball in the centre of the park. Dearden, right-hand side, they come Munster. Oh, dummies, backs goes himself towards the centre of the park. He's 32 away. And Munster smiling as he waits for that clock to wind down so Reece Walsh can get back on the park, I think. Cleary, Dearden, left-hand side. Shibasaki, dummies, goes himself, tries to get the fend out, but Farnworth holds on. Then he's helped out by George Williams. Shibasaki gets up slowly, plays the ball with 16 metres away from England's line on the final play. Through the hands, Grant will grab it towards the in-goal, but Harry Smith was there. Does really well for England to wrap it up. And England will once again have to come away from their own end with 4 minutes to go. Jonty, they've got to go coast to coast, and they trail 14 points to 4.
Yeah, they won't be doing that, and certainly the spark has gone out of them. They gave it their best, England, but they've just been outclassed. Australia, too many too many good players all over the park. They've all done they've all played their part. And Cameron Munster, who was the official player of the match, I agree with that. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, he's been really good, Cameron Munster, and now Watkins gets up slowly and plays it for England, 33 away from his line. They go to the left-hand side. Smith through the hands. McMeekin loses the ball. Fasuamala-Awi tries to do a bit of dribbling, but the referee will bring it back for the knock-on, and there will be a scrum feed for the Australians, 10 inside England's territory, with 3.5 to go, and Australia leading 14-4 MC.
Yeah, hard to argue with Cam Munster, man of the match, off the back of just that solo try. And, they've tried very hard to have that Munster-Crichton combination again on the left-hand side of Australia. They've gone to it a few times, haven't had the same amount of joy as they did last week. But, you'd think that Munster's looked the most likely of any Australian player with the ball.
So Australia come to the right, and they throw it through their hands, ending up with Mark Nwanganita-Waze, and he will take the tackle. About 4 England players there, but they're actually pushing him towards their own goal line. So the referee is telling him to get back on the mark. There's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. The clock is still going.
See, I reckon that should have been played on because it was England who was pushing him. So why not, where it stopped, play the ball? They were told to stop. Or penalise them for pushing after the whistle.
Here's Fasuamala-Awi. Exactly. It's one or the other. Keep playing. That's, I think, keep the ball in play. Harry Grant's at dummy half. Ball back on the inside for Reece Walsh. He loses it. And England will get the ball 10 metres away from their own goal line with just under 2 minutes to go, and Australia still holding on 14 points to 4 over England in this second Ashes test.
Well, they've kept Reece Walsh fairly quiet. That's one thing they've done. He's tried hard. He hasn't been given the same opportunities, but he got halfway through there, went to offload and has lost the ball. He didn't play poorly, by the way. No one has played poorly. It was a really tight physical affair, and it was just that Australia have too many attacking options, and they're just too strong. They don't miss key tackles. Close to the line, their defence was excellent.
Yeah, I think errors obviously have probably made the scoreline look a little bit closer. It's probably the Australians have shot themselves in the foot a few times. So George Williams will take the tackle 15 away from his own goal line, and then at dummy half is Lewis. On he goes, one off the ruck, right-hand side. McMeekin takes the tackle of Tom Dearden, 20 away in centre field. They play the ball for Lewis again at dummy half. Going to the right, Smith changes direction for Kai Pearce-Paul, and 4 Australians stop Kai Pearce-Paul standing up in the tackle about 30 away from the line. Centre field, they come left-hand side. Out it goes the back for Williams. No look pass. They continue onto the left-hand side for AJ Brimson, and Brimson is taken in the tackle by Katoni Staggs right on the halfway line. They play the ball, and Williams is waiting at dummy half for a long pass out to Lewis. Then he gets it away to Smithies, and then Smithies keeps it alive as they change direction back into the middle for Matty Lees. He keeps it alive for AJ Brimson now. They're throwing it through their hands, trying to come up with something, but there's under a minute to go now, and Australia leading 14 points to 4. It's been a better performance by the English team, particularly in this second half, to keep Australia at bay. As Williams chips over the top, but Reece Walsh picks it up on the fly. One bounce. Can he go all the way, Reece Walsh? He'll kick for himself. Chasing downfield. Surely Johnson doesn't get done from here. He picks the ball up, and then he's absolutely whacked by Walsh, flying through. So Tom Johnson will get up and play the ball very gingerly, 22 away from his own goal line as they come away from their own end through Jake Wardle, and Johnson has stayed down in back play. He's nowhere near the action, so Grant Atkins will keep the play going as they come right-hand side for Kai Pearce-Paul. There's 20 seconds left in this game, and Kai Pearce-Paul is brought to ground 10 short of the halfway line by Dearden. They get up and play the ball. Right-hand side, short goes the England side for Watkins, and Watkins will take the tackle just short of the halfway line. So Lewis at dummy half again. They go right for Morgan Knowles, and that will be all she wrote, with Australia retaining the Ashes. The first series in 22 years. But Australia has wrapped it up with a test to play. Cameron Munster, the player of the match. He scored the opening try for Australia 8 minutes into the second half. Hudson Young scored 4 minutes later. Nathan Cleary ended up with 3 from 4. There were 3 players in the sin bin, but despite being 4-all at halftime with no tries, John Gibbs, it was a dominant performance, really a comfortable performance by the Kangaroos.
Yeah, a grafting win there to the Australians. Well done to them. In 2 test matches so far, they've scored 1 try, dive over for Darryl Clark from dummy half. So Australia's defence has been excellent, but also I've got to say England's attack is a little bit impotent as well.
Yeah, we'll be going shortly, MC, but Australia probably could have won that a little more comfortably.
Yeah, I think, England should have scored a try in the first half. If England had found a way to score a try when they had all the possession, it could have been a different game. And then they started the second half poorly, failing to complete 2 sets, and then Cam Munster turns in a bit of individual brilliance. And that's what England don't have. You know, when the game's in the balance, Munster just turns the game by himself. England doesn't have that sort of player. So, Australia win. I thought it was a much better performance from England than they were in the first game. They were embarrassing in the first game. This was a lot better. It'll be interesting to see what Kevin Walters does for the team heading into Game 3.
Yeah, obviously. Those 2 tries in 4 minutes early in the second half was the real difference. But as we spoke about, England never really looked like threatening the line. Let's hear from the player of the match.
And a player of the match performance from you for your first thoughts.
I just want to say thanks to the crowd. It's a big turnout, so really thankful we had obviously Aussies here as well. So it's been a great game. England played their best and we gave it to them on a silver play there in the first half, but our scramble and our defence was really good tonight. So well, obviously our attack's a little bit scratchy, but we'll work on that next week.
Was it all about character today? Because I'm guessing that defensive effort took quite a lot out of you.
Oh yeah, when you don't complete and you defend a fair bit, there's a lot of fatigue. So England come out tonight and bashed us. They played tougher and obviously a bit smarter with the ball, but obviously our turn up for each other, our scramble, and we did that in the first game as well. There's a couple of opportunities they could have scored and re-stopped 2 or 3 tries there last week, so it could have been anything tonight. So it's a great team effort, but definitely can play a lot better, and we need to do that next week.
That's right.
There's Cameron Munster speaking to the host broadcasters. Thank you, MC.
See you next week. Thank you.
See you next week, Jonty.
See you next week. Good night.
Thank you, Peter Roger Clemson on the buttons. Thank you to Ned Hall in the studio as well. Thank you to the text messages as well, keeping us company through the wee small hours. We will be back next Sunday, same time, same place for the third test from Headingley, but it has finished. The Kangaroos 14, England 4, and the Ashes returning to Australia once again. I've been Glenn Lauder. Appreciate your company. Until next week, it is goodbye.